Chapter 5:26. Midnight. Many demons were waiting in the palace. Their nerves were tense, and they would immediately take action at the slightest sign of trouble. They were afraid that they would miss any movement and allow the human thief to sneak in. In the end, all of them widened their eyes. Their eyes were bloodshot, and some even became cross-eyed. They were extremely exhausted. But when it was midnight, the human thief who had left the message still did not appear. There was no movement in the entire palace. It was silent, as if nothing had happened. An hour passed, 2 hours, 3 hours. Finally, some demons could not take it anymore. What's going on? Why isn't the human thief here yet? Did he get the time wrong? Wrong my asterisk guess. I read the note dozens of times just now. There's no mistake. It's midnight tonight. But why isn't the human here yet? There's no movement at all. It's so boring. A few flies flew over just now, and we ate them all. Without a doubt, the human must be afraid. Knowing that our army is here, he must be scared shitless. He wouldn't dare to appear. He's not an idiot. It can't be. He clearly sent out a letter of challenge and said that he would come to steal. He's so arrogant, as if he's the heavens. Now that he sees that we have the numbers, he doesn't dare to come? He's so cowardly, yet he dares to be a thief? Humans are all cowardly bandits. Every single one of them is incompetent. How can they be as brave and good at fighting as us demons? Once we set up our formation, he'll be scared shitless. Many demons sneered. They all thought that the human was just saying it. Seeing their formation, he had long been scared shitless. Some of the demons heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the human thief did not come. Otherwise, if their treasures were stolen in front of everyone, they would be embarrassed. It was a slap to the silver WYRM King's face. Cowardly human. That's all you can do. The silver WYRM King sneered and clenched his fists. A Grandmaster demon immediately went forward to flatter. That's to be expected. With our king guarding here, no matter how gutsy the human is, he wouldn't dare to come and court death. It's a pity that the human is too cowardly. We lost the chance to capture him. Its flattery made the silver WYRM King feel very comfortable. Report. All of a sudden, a small demon rushed in from outside, sweating profusely. What? Suddenly, all the monsters in the palace tensed up. Could it be that something big had really happened? Speak, what happened? The silver WYRM King stared at the little Yao. The other demons widened their eyes, looking like they wanted to devour someone. They were filled with killing intent. Xiao Yao was so scared that he almost peed his pants. He almost collapsed to the ground, but he suppressed the fear in his heart and said, "Just now at the city gate, we also found a slip of paper, so we came to report it." City gate. Many of the demons were shocked. They suddenly came to their senses, as though they had recalled something. All of their expressions turned ugly. Note? What is written on it? The silver WYRM King immediately asked. The little demon shivered and said, "It says, 'Thank you, Silver Flood Dragon King, for your gift. The mountains will not change, and the rivers will flow forever. We will meet again if fate allows it.'" What? Hearing those words, all the monsters were shocked. Doesn't this mean that the human thief has taken this opportunity to leave the Silver Dragon City and run away? We've been tricked. We've been tricked. One of the Grandmaster-level demons shouted. That shameless human thief didn't actually want to steal the king's treasure. He wanted to make use of this incident to mobilize the king and the army, gathering most of them in the palace. This way, there will be fewer guards at the city gate. By then, that shameless human thief will naturally take this opportunity to escape and leave Silver WYRM City. We've been tricked. The Silver WYRM King was so angry that his face turned pale. He immediately understood what had happened. The so-called theft at midnight was just a ruse, a provocation. That shameless human provoked the Silver WYRM King on purpose, making them think that the human thief would definitely come to the palace to steal. Thus, they sent the army to guard the palace. Little did they know that it was a ploy to lure the tiger away from the mountain. They didn't realize that all of them had been tricked. Shameless, shameless human. How could he do such a thing? He's not trustworthy. He said that he was here to steal, but now he's going back on his words. He's good at pulling up his pants and leaving. Despicable to the extreme. Humans are all shameless, despicable, and lowly. Their words can't even be trusted. They're worse than farts. Rather than trusting a human's words, you might as well trust a pile of shit. We're stupid too. We actually waited here for 3 hours like idiots. Come to think of it, how could a small human dare to do such a thing? He's too shameless. The other demons' faces turned green. They also understood that they were fooled by the human. On the surface, they were here to steal, but in fact, they wanted to escape. Yet, they didn't realize it and let the human thief escape. Despicable human, I won't forgive him. The silver WYRM king was furious. Its face turned red and its body trembled. It was actually fooled by a human and waited in the palace for 3 hours for nothing. One must know that even its lover wouldn't make it wait for such a long time. Yet, this human thief did it, causing it to suffer such humiliation. If it didn't kill that human, its prestige as a king would be completely destroyed. He definitely can't escape far. Chase after him. Immediately chase after him and kill that human thief. We definitely can't let him escape. The silver WYRM king's anger reached its peak. It roared, causing the void to tremble. It was as though the entire palace was splitting apart. The entire silver WYRM city was shaking. Countless demons could hear the silver WYRM king's roar. Some of the demons could feel the silver WYRM king's rage. They remembered that it was hundreds of years ago. Back then, the silver WYRM king wanted to massacre a demon kingdom to kill a traitor. At that time, tens of millions of demons died. Corpses were everywhere. So. Demons flew out of the palace in a frenzy. Huge dark clouds covered the sky, together with the silver WYRM king. It was like an army of 1,000,000 had left the country. They charged towards silver WYRM city. Bang! The gates of silver WYRM city were opened. The demon soldiers moved out. All of them were wearing armor and wielding spears. They were filled with killing intent. In an orderly formation, they rushed out of silver WYRM city. At this moment, the entire Cold Moon Lake was shaking. Countless demons living under the water were shivering. They thought that a war was about to break out. All of them hid and revealed looks of terror. Chapter 5:27. Cold Moon Lake, thousands of miles of water. At this moment, under the command of the silver WYRM king, the entire area was filled with a large number of demons. They frantically searched in all directions, searching every corner along the way. They would not let go of any clues, just like hunting dogs. It could be said that all the demons around the Cold Moon Lake were mobilized with the goal of finding the human thief and killing the human who dared to challenge the dignity of the Demon King. However, after searching for an entire night, nothing was found. Countless demons hung their heads dejectedly. They had no idea where that damned human was hiding. Suddenly, a Grandmaster-level demon shouted, "We've been tricked! Great King, we've been tricked again." What? Tricked again? Many of the demons' faces turned green. They were allergic to this term, as it had become a taboo. It was as if they were slapped in the face every time they heard it. How do we get tricked again? A demon asked, puzzled. The silver WYRM king clenched his fist and looked over. Previously, the Silver Dragon City's gate was tightly shut and the entire city's restrictive formation was activated. If someone were to leave, it would be impossible for him to leave without alerting anyone. It's also impossible for him to leave without a sound. The Grandmaster-level demon clenched his teeth and said, "The reason why the human left the note at the city gate was to deceive us. He wanted us to think that he had left Silver WYRM City long ago. In fact, that human never left. He was still hiding in a corner of Silver WYRM City. But now that we've been infuriated, we didn't even think before rushing out and opening the city gate. In the end, that shameless human took the opportunity to leave secretly. If we didn't act rashly and didn't open the city gate, he wouldn't have been able to leave Silver WYRM City even if he had wings. He would still be trapped in the city like a turtle in a jar." He carefully analyzed the ins and outs of the matter. What the F***ck? When the demons heard this, the remaining half of their faces turned green. They understood that they had been fooled by that shameless human all along. Every step was within his meticulous planning. If they didn't act rashly and mobilize the army to open the city gate, the human thief would definitely not have had the chance to leave. The problem was, how could they not be impulsive? First of all, when they saw the provocative note, it blatantly stated that they were coming to the palace to steal something. It was obvious that there were no demons in their eyes. This made these demons extremely angry. Following that, they were left alone in the palace by that shameless human. For 3 hours, not even a shadow of him was seen. Every demon's lungs were about to explode from anger. They were impatient and wanted nothing more than to get rid of that human. Now that they heard that the human had escaped, they had been ridiculed 3 times and enraged 3 times. They had long since lost their rationality and didn't have the time to consider whether this was true or not. They only wanted to catch that human thief and not let him escape. However, even this point had been calculated by that human. He had used their anger to create an opportunity to escape. This was simply a meticulous plan. Their faces were slapped so many times that they couldn't feel it anymore. They almost felt pleasure. If you're so smart, why didn't you think of it before? Why did you only think of it now? The Silver WYRM King was fuming with rage as he glared at his subordinate. Just now, it was this guy who said that the human thief had escaped. That was why it had hurriedly led a large army to chase after him, hoping to catch the human thief and tear him into pieces. But now, this bastard actually said that it had been tricked again. It had fallen for the traitorous human scheme and was slapped in the face again. How could it accept such a ridiculous thing? Great King, I only know how to speculate after the fact. It's a little difficult for me to think of this in advance. The Grandmaster Demon looked embarrassed. F***ck. What's the use of only knowing how to be wise after the fact? Everything had already happened, and that human thief had escaped. What was the use of speculating here? Was it just to figure out how they had been tricked? You didn't think of this? Do you know that it's because of this so-called speculation of yours that our millions of troops have to work so hard and even let that human thief escape? You're F***king telling me that you didn't think of this point clearly. If that's the case, why do I need a think tank like you? All you could do is eat. The Silver WYRM King was so angry that he almost died. With a bang, he slapped the Grandmaster Demon and sent it flying. A few of his teeth were knocked out and blood flowed out. He roared, "Take him away. Take this useless person away immediately and lock him in prison for 100 years. No, no, no. Spare me, great king, spare me." The Grandmaster Demon was so scared that he peed his pants. He wanted to beg for mercy, but the other demons immediately came up and dragged him away. The other demons looked down on this so-called think tank. He was really useless. If they didn't know that he was loyal to the Silver WYRM King, they would probably think that he was an accomplice of a human thief and a spy sent by the human. "Pass down my order," the Silver WYRM King roared. "Immediately search the surrounding 10,000 miles. Do not let go of any traces of a human. As long as there are clues, you will be rewarded handsomely." This king doesn't believe that the human is so powerful that he didn't leave any clues behind. As long as we find some clues and know the human's identity, even if he escapes back to the human kingdom, this king will kill him with my own hands. His voice reverberated for 1,000 miles and was transmitted to the ears of every demon in the Cold Moon Lake. It was almost tangible. Demonic chi filled the sky, and savage forest trembled. "Yes, great king." Countless demons shouted angrily and flew in all directions. Not only did they search the lake, they even searched savage forest. At this moment, at the bottom of the Cold Moon Lake, huge rocks were piled up together. Among them, there was a unique small stone that was hidden in the sand. It was not eye-catching at all. Even the Demon King couldn't sense that this wasn't a stone, but an interspatial ring. At this moment, Xiaoping was hiding in this interspatial ring, avoiding the search of many demons. Because of this, no matter how the monsters searched, they couldn't find his whereabouts. Doing so would only be a futile effort. Haha, that group of demons is so angry. Xiaoping was proud of himself. With just a little trick, he escaped from Silver WYRM City. Just as the Grandmaster Demon guessed, this was all a series of schemes. When the demon army left Silver WYRM City, he secretly followed them out. Once he was out, he would be like a dragon returning to the sea. There would be no more restraints. Chapter 528. Beep. At this time, the system said, "Congratulations to the host for enraging the Monster King. This time, you have gained a total of 15 million hate points." 15 million hate points? Xiaoping touched his chin. In addition to what he had obtained before, he now had a total of 30 million hate points. Such a large number was really amazing. As expected of the Monster King, the amount of hate points obtained was simply unimaginable. If the Silver Jiao King knew his true identity, it was estimated that the hate points would increase even more. However, if his true identity was exposed, it would cause big trouble. After all, the anger of a Monster King was not something he could bear now. It's a pity that the secret treasure house has a restrictive formation. Otherwise, if I return now, I will definitely make a lot of money. Xiaoping was a little regretful, thinking of the secret treasure house he had encountered before. However, the restrictive formation of the secret treasure house was extremely tyrannical. It was estimated that even if a Grandmaster came, he would not be able to crack it in a short time. Moreover, this restrictive formation also had an alarm function. If the Silver Jiao King returned in time, then he would really be like a turtle in a jar. Even he could not use the trick just now to escape from the Silver Jiao City. Although he liked to get treasures, he did not want to risk his life. Anyway, there were many treasures in this world. When he was stronger, it would not be too late to get them. There was no need to hit a stone with an egg now. However, I still have a big gift for these monsters. I hope they can catch the real murderer so that I can divert the trouble. Xiaoping touched his chin with a treacherous expression. At this time, in the palace of the Silver Jiao City, the Silver Jiao King sat on the throne with a face full of anger. The rest of the monsters stood below, all of them bowing their heads, not daring to say anything for fear of being angry. The entire palace was filled with a depressing atmosphere, extremely tense. Report. Suddenly, a monster soldier rushed in from outside and shouted, "Your Majesty, we found some clues in a corner of the palace garden and are now here to report." What? Many demons were stirred as they stared at the demon soldier. "Speak," the Silver Jiao King shouted. The demon soldier hurriedly said, "We just searched the entire palace and found a token left behind by that human thief in a corner of the palace garden." It immediately took out a black token from its body. On it was written the word Zhou, and beside it was written Bin in smaller words. If Zhou Bin were still alive, he would definitely be extremely shocked, because this was clearly the Zhou family's token on him. This was specially issued by the Zhou family to every direct descendant of the Zhou family. With this token, one could enter and exit the Zhou clan's various forbidden areas. One could even use this token to send out all sorts of distress signals. It could be said to be a very important token of the Zhou clan. After Zhou Bin and the others were killed, these tokens fell into Xiaoping's hands. "What is this?" The Silver WYRM King frowned. He looked at a white-haired demon beside him. This demon was the intelligence chief beside him. He was in charge of external and internal intelligence. The white-haired demon immediately went forward and took the token. He studied it carefully as all sorts of information flashed through his mind. In just a few seconds, he came to a conclusion. "Your Majesty, if I'm not wrong, this is the identity token of a direct descendant of the Zhou clan, a human sovereign family." The white-haired demon said in a deep voice, "And this token belongs to one of their core members, Zhou Bin. It is said that his strength has reached the peak of Grandmaster and is only one step away from advancing to the King realm. His strength is not to be underestimated. Sovereign family, Grandmaster Zhou Bin." These words shocked all the monsters present. They looked at each other and immediately understood each other's thoughts. This human Grandmaster Zhou Bin was definitely the culprit behind the theft of the treasury. That's right. The thief who stole the Majesty's treasure must be this Grandmaster Zhou Bin. A demon immediately jumped out and swore that Zhou Bin was the culprit. That's impossible. Although the token was left in the palace, we can't rule out the possibility of someone framing him. Framing my ass. We know what kind of person Jobin is. He's a grandmaster. Only a sovereign can kill a grandmaster. Even if it were a grandmaster of the same level, it would take at least 5 or 6 of them to kill him. Indeed, it is said that this token is a keepsake of every member of the Zhou family. They are never allowed to leave their side. It is impossible for someone to kill Grandmaster Jobin, take his keepsake, and frame him. That's right. That's right. Recently, I haven't heard of any Monster King killing a Grandmaster. The result is obvious. This Grandmaster Jobin must have left a clue because he was careless. He probably didn't expect that he would reveal such a big flaw. If he's not a Grandmaster, how could he have the ability to enter our Silver Dragon City without a trace? That's right. As the saying goes, heaven's net grinds slowly but never escapes. The heavens have eyes and allowed this human thief to show his true colors. Many monsters exclaimed. They believed that this human thief must be Grandmaster Jobin because there were no humans in the entire Silver Dragon City. How could it be so coincidental that the token appeared in the palace? Moreover, the culprit was strong enough to do such a thing. What do you think? The Silver Dragon King stared at his confidant, the white-haired monster. The white-haired monster sneered. Your Majesty, that little thief must be that Jobin. Even if he isn't Jobin, he must be closely related to him. Otherwise, this token wouldn't have appeared here so casually. Taking a step back, even if he isn't Jobin, with this evidence, we can settle the score with the human Zhou clan. We can use this as a pretext to demand compensation. Many monsters understood what the white-haired monster meant. So what if the evidence was fake? So what if the human Jobin wasn't the culprit? With the evidence in hand, he had to be the culprit even if he wasn't. Otherwise, with the Silver Dragon City suffering such heavy losses, if they didn't find a sucker to compensate them, Silver Dragon City would definitely suffer for 10 years. No matter what, Grandmaster Jobin must be guilty. He must be the culprit. That's right. With a smack, the Silver Dragon King slapped the throne and stood up. He shouted, "That human thief must be Jobin. Immediately issue an ultimatum and protest to the human and demand compensation. If not, we'll fight it out with him. I'd like to see what the King of Shangzhou has to say. He dares to bully me and wants to rob me to get rich. If I don't kill those humans, I won't be able to take this lying down." He roared continuously, causing the entire palace to tremble. Yes, my king. Chapter 529. Soon, a piece of news caused a huge commotion in the human world. The Silver Serpent King ordered the King of Shangzhou to compensate for the great loss of Silver Serpent City and hand over the murderer, Grandmaster Jobin. Otherwise, it would send out millions of troops to slaughter the Zhou clan cities, killing the chicken to scare the monkey and serve as a warning to others. The ultimatum this time shocked countless humans. Not long after the incident with the Black Scorpion King, the Silver Serpent King actually made a move again. Moreover, he was in a standoff with the King Zhou clan. They were like fire and water, unable to coexist with each other. What's going on? Why is the Silver Serpent King so angry that he wants to fight with the Zhou family? I heard that the Zhou family stirred up a beehive this time. Grandmaster Jobin sneaked into Silver Serpent City and robbed their treasure vault. Holy crap, he's too fierce. He dared to sneak into Silver Serpent City alone and succeeded. He even stole the treasure vault. Is he trying to defy the heavens? It's a pity that Grandmaster Jobin lost his Zhou family token by accident. The Silver Serpent King found out about his identity and is furious. He wants to settle the score with the Zhou family. The entire treasure vault was robbed. No wonder he's so angry. If it were me, I would be furious too. The Zhou family is unlucky this time. They offended the Silver Serpent King. This Demon King is one of the more powerful kings. The Black Scorpion King can't be compared to it. I wonder how the Zhou family will deal with this. If they really compensate the Silver Serpent King and even kowtow to apologize, the Zhou family will become the laughingstock of the human world. Many humans were discussing this matter because it was simply too shocking. Not to mention that someone dared to sneak into the demon city. He even went into the Silver Serpent King's palace and took away the entire treasure vault. He even escaped easily. This was extremely shocking. Even a king might not be able to do this. This news also immediately became the headlines of the entire internet. Whether it was on major communication software, major forums, or major tieba, it had become a hot topic of discussion and was ranked first in the search rankings. Countless people were concerned about this. As for the Zhou family, they were all in a state of confusion. In a meeting hall, countless core elders of the Zhou clan were rushing back from various places. Even the ancestor of the Zhou clan, Zhou Tiangang, who was also known as the king of Shangzhou, was present. Every single one of them had a grave expression on their faces, because this was not an ordinary matter. If it was handled carelessly, the entire Zhou clan would face annihilation. Damn it, what's going on? The king of Shangzhou, Zhou Tiangang bellowed. Why would Zhou Bin do such a thing? He actually foolishly went to the Silver Flood Dragon City and stole the Silver Flood Dragon King's treasury. He even carelessly left his token behind. Even if he wants to die, he better not implicate our Zhou clan. He was incomparably furious. Originally, he was still in closed-door cultivation, but he was alarmed by this matter. In the end, he had no choice but to come out of closed-door cultivation to deal with this matter. Zhou Bin, where are you right now? I like to see what's going on in his head. Zhou Tiangong's face was gloomy as he glanced at the elders of the Zhou family. Patriarch, an elder of the Zhou family stood up and said, "We've tried to contact Zhou Bin with our communicators, but so far, we haven't received any news from him. It's as if he has vanished from the face of the earth. We've even contacted some of the elites he brought with him from the Zhou clan, but we haven't received any news from them. We can't find them no matter how hard we try. Therefore, we suspect that they've been assassinated." He clenched his fists with a murderous look. Hearing this, Zhou Tiangong's pupils shrank. You mean, someone killed Zhou Bin and the others, obtained their tokens, then sneaked into the Silver Flood Dragon City and deliberately left this clue behind to frame our Zhou clan? He immediately understood the meaning of the elder's words. That's right. That's the most likely explanation. The elder of the Zhou clan said in a deep voice, "I know Zhou Bin's ability. Although he's an expert at the peak of the Grandmaster realm, it's impossible for him to sneak into the Silver Flood Dragon City without anyone noticing. He even stole the Silver Flood Dragon King's treasury and left unscathed. No matter how I think about it, he doesn't have the ability to do so. This must be done by someone else. But in order to divert the trouble to someone else, he framed our Zhou clan." He spoke his mind. The others also nodded, agreeing with this idea. Who is it? Not only did he kill the Grandmaster of our Zhou clan, but he also wanted to frame us. Who would do such a thing? If I catch him, I'll kill him immediately. His entire clan will be exterminated. Zhou Tiangang clenched his teeth. He felt extremely annoyed, and his murderous intent was boiling. I'm not sure. Our Zhou clan has many enemies. They all have this kind of motive to kill. The elder of the Zhou clan said in a deep voice. Plus, we can't deny that this might be a self-directed play by the Silver Flood Dragon King. It might have deliberately killed Zhou Bin and the others, but in order to shirk responsibility, it claimed that its treasury had been robbed. In fact, that didn't happen at all. Everything was fabricated, and it even accused the guilty party first. Many elders of the Zhou clan agreed. This was not impossible. The Silver Flood Dragon King killed the Grandmaster of the Zhou clan. He was afraid that it would cause a war between the human clan and the monster clan, and he would be blamed by the Thousand Monster Mountain. Therefore, the Silver Flood Dragon King played along. He lied that his treasury was stolen by humans and pushed all the blame onto the Zhou clan. He even took the opportunity to extort compensation. This was a trick that killed many birds with one stone. After all, it was the Silver Flood Dragon City, the territory of the Silver Flood Dragon King. Plus, it was an underwater city. To enter the Silver Flood Dragon City without anyone noticing, steal everything from the Silver Flood Dragon King's treasury, and even escape calmly was not something a normal Grandmaster could do. Even kings might not be able to do it. No matter how they looked at it, they felt that there were many suspicious points in this incident. Some things were hard to justify and could not be explained. Anyways, go and investigate, Zhou Tiangang shouted. First, find out how Zhou Bin and the others died. Who killed them? Who killed them? Who is the murderer? You must investigate thoroughly for me. At the same time, confirm for me whether or not this is a self-directed play by the Silver Flood Dragon King. Is he trying to blackmail our Zhou clan? If the Silver Flood Dragon King thinks that I, Zhou Tiangang, will be so scared that my legs will turn to jelly, and I will tell him that he thinks too much, the Zhou clan will not be humiliated. His face was ferocious, and his voice was like thunder. Yes, clan leader. A group of elders of the Zhou clan shouted. Their faces were serious. None of them would relax, because this was a matter of life and death for the Zhou clan. If they were not careful, their Zhou clan would be wiped out. This was definitely not a small matter. Of course, don't start a war if you can avoid it. Zhou Tiangang said in a low voice, war is a last resort. It is best to negotiate with the Silver Flood Dragon King and solve this peacefully. Chapter 530. Therefore, the Zhou family quickly made a statement. They believed that the Silver Serpent King must have had a huge misunderstanding. This incident wasn't done by the Zhou family. Someone must have framed them. They hoped that the Silver Serpent King would be wise enough to find the real culprit. The Zhou family was also willing to help solve the conflict between the two parties and build a harmonious society together. The Zhou family was very sincere. They hoped that they could find a channel to communicate with the Silver Serpent King peacefully. They didn't want this incident to destroy the great unity between humans and monsters, as expected of a king family. Their methods are indeed brilliant. Xiaoping also saw this news on the internet. He believed that if this continued, the Silver Serpent King and the Zhou family might make peace with each other under the intervention of the higher-ups of the human race and monster race. They might even work together to find the culprit. He would never allow such a thing to happen because it would be disadvantageous to him. Therefore, Xiaoping immediately posted anonymously on the internet to stir up this mess. The title of the post was, "Be Careful. The Silver Serpent King's scheme is to blackmail the Zhou family." In the post, he described his explanation and refuted every single point. He believed that the Silver WYRM King was clearly trying to blackmail the Zhou clan. He wanted to scam the Zhou clan with some groundless evidence and had sinister intentions. If the Silver Serpent King was really successful and every Monster King did the same thing in the future, wouldn't it be enough for humans to compensate the Monster Kings with all their wealth? Immediately, many people saw this post. That's right. Brother, your words have enlightened us. Someone immediately realized the Silver Serpent King has the final say on everything now. Outsiders like us don't know what the truth is. If the Silver Serpent King really forged the evidence, we can't do anything to him. Many people nodded in agreement. Isn't that so? Xiaoping replied quickly. What kind of place is the Silver Serpent City? It's a city at the bottom of the Cold Moon Lake. It's at least a few hundred meters deep. Ordinary humans can't enter it. Moreover, the Silver Serpent City is the Silver Serpent King's lair. There are many guards and restrictions inside. Even the big shots of the monster race might not be able to get away with it. As for us humans, wouldn't it be like catching a turtle in a jar? How could he obtain the Silver Flood Dragon King's treasure in the heavily guarded Silver Flood Dragon City and escape with ease? Therefore, I can conclude that this is definitely the Silver WYRM King's scheme. The Silver WYRM King killed the Grandmaster of the Zhou clan out of nowhere and obtained the token. Therefore, he took this opportunity to make a fuss and extort money from the Zhou clan. Hearing these words, many people were even more in agreement. They had spoken their hearts out. You're right. You're absolutely right. Previously, I also had a lot of doubts about this matter. I didn't think that the original poster would immediately voice out her thoughts. Indeed, the Silver Serpent City is heavily guarded, and there are countless experts here who could sneak into the Silver Serpent City's treasury and steal all the treasures. Even a monarch might not be able to do that. This must be a self-directed play by the Silver Serpent King. Despicable and shameless Silver Flood Dragon King. In order to extort money from us humans, he doesn't even care about his own face. How could he tell such a lie? How despicable. He is a monster king, yet he doesn't have any self-respect at all. The group of humans scolded and criticized the Silver Flood Dragon King. They thought that this monster king was shameless and would do anything for money. Now, he even wanted to fabricate evidence to extort money from humans. Xiaoping struck while the iron was hot. He hurried to fabricate a rumor. According to the rumor, the Silver Flood Dragon King has a lot of wealth. However, as a monster king, he has a weakness. That is, he is addicted to gambling. Previously, he played mahjong with many monster kings and lost almost all of his wealth, causing the Silver Flood Dragon City to be in a deficit. He can't even pay the guard salaries for the next month. Therefore, he thought of extorting money from humans and making a fortune to make up for the deficit. Of course, this is just a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. He even added this sentence to show that it was just a rumor, and he didn't know if it was true or not. If something went wrong, he wouldn't be responsible for it. However, the onlookers didn't care whether this rumor was true or not. As long as this rumor could satisfy their curiosity, they would spread it as if it was true. Holy sh**t, so that's how it is. No wonder the Silver Flood Dragon King would suddenly do something like this. Many people were shocked. They finally knew the truth of the matter. He lost all of his wealth and couldn't even pay the guard salaries for the next month. Of course, he would be worried. No wonder he suddenly did this. He directed this drama himself to extort money from the Zhou family. I didn't expect that the Silver Flood Dragon King would become a pauper. What a pity. Gambling makes him poor for the rest of his life. My big uncle was also cut down by loan sharks because of gambling. His family was ruined, and his wife was separated. I didn't expect that even a monster king would fall for it. I didn't expect that even the monster king is a gambling addict. He gambled until he lost all of his wealth. It seems like gambling is a big problem that has been deeply rooted in the bones of humans and monsters. A group of people sighed. They didn't expect that even the monster king was addicted to gambling. He was like some gambling addicts. Now, he gambled until he lost all of his wealth. He couldn't even keep half of his property. It is said that the Silver Flood Dragon King is not only addicted to gambling, but also lustful and shameless. It is said that he keeps a dozen beauties of the fox race as his mistresses every month. Someone spread a rumor. Just this fee alone makes the Silver Flood Dragon King spend a lot of money every month. Now that the beauties of the fox race know about this, they want to abandon the poor Silver Flood Dragon King and continue to look for the next rich man. Many rumors also appeared on the internet. They talked about the story of the night between the beauties of the fox race and the Silver Flood Dragon King. They said that the Silver Flood Dragon King spent a lot of money in the casino. The guards of the Silver Flood Dragon City rebelled and demanded that the Silver Flood Dragon King pay their salaries and punish the black-hearted boss. Similar news kept appearing one after another. Soon, this news spread across the entire human network. Like the wind, countless people knew about it. Some news media moved very fast and immediately published it as a piece of news. Many editors worked overtime to snatch the headlines. There is news that the Silver Flood Dragon King lost half of his wealth in gambling and is now bankrupt. The guards of the Silver Flood Dragon City rebelled and joined hands to protest. They sat down to demonstrate that the Silver Flood Dragon King owed them half a year's salary, blackmailing the Zhou family and demanding a huge sum of money. This was the last resort of the Monster King. Was it the struggle of the Monster King? Or was it the twisted, demonic nature? Or was it the fall of morality? Today, let us enter the inner world of the Monster King. What a pity. The Monster King ended up like this. Gambling has done a lot of harm to the monsters. News after news were published, letting countless people know about it. Chapter 531. Silver WYRM City Palace. At this moment, the Silver WYRM King's face was ashen as though he had been punched several times. The entire atmosphere was extremely oppressive and dark, as though a storm would erupt at any time. Because just now, his communication device rang from time to time as the demonic beast kings called him. Some demonic beast kings were very direct and said that if the Silver WYRM King had any difficulties recently, they could help him tide through the difficulties together. There was no need for him to scam humans and do such an embarrassing thing. After all, to do such a despicable thing for a bit of money was something that even the demonic beasts couldn't afford. Moreover, As a demonic beast king, he had a reputation. It was really inexcusable for him to scam humans. Some demonic beast kings had a grudge against him and called to mock him. They said that the silver WYRM king was so short of money that he actually did such an embarrassing thing and humiliated the demonic beast race. They even suggested the silver WYRM king to commit suicide so that he wouldn't continue to humiliate the demonic beast race. Some demonic beast kings wanted to take advantage of the situation. They said that they could help the silver WYRM king tide through the difficulties and help pay the silver WYRM king. However, they needed the silver WYRM king to exchange for treasures. Their tone was simply sarcastic and treated the silver WYRM king as a fat sheep to be slaughtered. The silver WYRM king was so angry that he smashed his communication device on the spot. "Damn it! This is really damn it!" The silver WYRM king roared. "Who do you think I am? Do you really think that I am a demonic beast king who is addicted to gambling and has gone bankrupt from gambling? To think that all of you would come forward to ridicule me. Some of you even dare to treat this king as a fat sheep, wanting this king to sell off his treasures as collateral. What a joke. No matter how poor this king is, this king will never sell his treasures at such a low price." He was so angry that he even thought of killing those demonic beast kings who wanted to take advantage of the situation. They actually thought that he, the silver WYRM king, was bankrupt and had fallen to such a state. Some demonic beast kings even wanted to add insult to injury. They were extremely shameless. Only now did the silver WYRM king understand the fickleness of human nature. They usually pretended to be brothers with him, but at the crucial moment, they actually added insult to injury. It's all those humans' fault. The silver WYRM king clenched his teeth. It hated the human bastard who spread the rumor. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have ended up like this, becoming the laughingstock of the 72 demon kings. If it found out who was the one who set it up, it would never let that guy go. With a dong sound, its palm slammed into the ground, immediately smashing open an enormous crater. More than 10 cracks appeared, extending several hundred meters and releasing cracking sounds. The surrounding demon guards kept quiet out of fear. They lowered their heads, not daring to look at the enraged silver WYRM king. If they were to be angered at this time, they would die in vain. "Great king!" Right at this moment, a demon soldier rushed in and said anxiously, "There are a lot of rumors out there saying that the king has gone bankrupt and can't pay his salary for the next year. He even mortgaged Silver Dragon City to other demon kings." This news has spread throughout the entire city and has shaken the morale of the army. Some demon soldiers even plan to force the king to abdicate and demand their wages. Right now, the entire Silver Dragon City is in a state of panic. I hope everyone can make a decision soon. What? Hearing this, the silver WYRM king was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. The power of the rumor was so powerful that it even affected the entire Silver Dragon City and the morale of the army. The demon soldiers who were originally loyal to the king actually wanted to force him to abdicate and wanted to demonstrate. If this continued, wouldn't the entire Silver Dragon City fall apart? And the silver WYRM king would become a lone commander. Without a doubt, those humans were planning to dig out his roots and exterminate his seed. "Human Zhou family, I will never let you go." The silver WYRM king roared angrily. He had already blamed the Zhou family for this incident. If it wasn't for the human Zhou family, how could these rumors appear so quickly? On the one hand, the Zhou family hypocritically agreed to negotiate with him, and on the other hand, they used all kinds of tricks to attack the silver WYRM king. Shameless to the extreme. And these rumors were definitely the masterpiece of the human Zhou family. Instantly, the silver WYRM king's heart was filled with killing intent. "Great king, I found it." Suddenly, a white-haired demon walked in and said in a deep voice, "After several days of investigation, I finally found out that the Zhou family has a hidden treasure called the Invisible Pearl. This treasure is extremely miraculous. It can hide one's body and aura. Once it is used, even a Grandmaster Realm demon won't be able to sense it. I'm guessing the Zhou clan snuck into our Silver Dragon City with this secret treasure. Although the Zhou family's treasure was hidden very well, there was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in this world. As long as it was used by the Zhou family before, it would leak out a lot of information. The white-haired demon finally obtained this precious information through various channels. What? The Silver WYRM King was shocked. He immediately stood up and said, "Invisible pearl? It can hide one's body and aura. How could there be such a treasure in this world? Why would such a treasure fall into the hands of a grandmaster? Because such a treasure would definitely be more effective in the hands of a king realm warrior." Greed appeared in his eyes. He wanted to snatch the treasure for himself. This invisible pearl seems to only be effective against experts below the grandmaster realm. It doesn't have much effect on kings. If an enemy uses the invisible pearl, the great king will notice it immediately. The white-haired demon said in a deep voice, "Therefore, the king of Shangzhou didn't use this treasure. Instead, he gave it to a grandmaster of the Zhou family. That's the best use of it." Without a doubt, the so-called Zhou Bin used this invisible pearl to sneak into our Silver Dragon City. His tone was firm and decisive. Useless against kings? Hearing this, the Silver WYRM King instantly lost interest. As long as it was a treasure that didn't have any effect on kings, then it was not very valuable. However, it was undeniable that a treasure like this was an incredible treasure for experts below the Grandmaster realm. At least in the Silver Dragon City, his subordinates couldn't stop such a treasure. Even if he can enter our Silver Dragon City with the invisible pearl, how did he steal our treasure vault? Even now, the Silver WYRM King couldn't understand what method that thief had used to move more than a dozen tons of treasures away. Furthermore, he had done it without making a sound. This was simply too ridiculous. "I'm not sure." The white-haired demon shook his head, "but one thing is for sure. This must be done by the Zhou family. If it wasn't for the invisible pearl, who could enter our Silver Dragon City so easily?" Chapter 532. At this moment, Zhou family. Damn it. Zhou family patriarch Zhou Tiangang cursed. Which son of a B*TCH is so immoral to actually expose on the internet that the Silver Serpent King is planning to blackmail our Zhou family? Isn't this clearly forcing the Silver Serpent King to fight to the death with our Zhou family? That B***starred is trying to put our Zhou family to death. Ever since he saw all sorts of news and reports on the internet, he almost went crazy from anger. Originally, this matter could have been easily resolved with his superb skills, and perhaps it wouldn't have cost much. But now that it was reported by the news media, even if the Silver Serpent King didn't have SH*T on him, it was SH*T. For the reputation of the Monster King. No matter what, the Silver Serpent King would fight to the death with the Zhou family. Otherwise, the reputation of the monster race would be destroyed by the Silver Serpent King, and they would lose all face. It could be imagined that when he found out such news appeared on the internet, how angry was he that he even wanted to kill the person who spread rumors and fanned the flames on the internet. The faces of the Zhou family members also turned green. Although they also suspected that this might be the Silver Serpent King framing the Zhou family, they could only think this in their hearts and not say it out loud. Once it was said, both sides would fall out, and there would be no turning back. But now, it was directly reported by the news media. There was news everywhere that the Silver Serpent King was planning to blackmail the Zhou family and cheat them of a large sum of money. If the Zhou family retreated at this time, and even compensated the Silver Serpent King a large sum of money, then the Zhou family would lose all face and would be thought of as cowardly bandits. All in all, once this news appeared, the Zhou family had no room to retreat. They were clearly being forced into a corner. B***starred. Zhou Tiangang gritted his teeth. "Have you found the B***starred who first posted on the internet? That B***starred definitely has a grudge against the Zhou family. Otherwise, why would he do such a thing? Once I find out his true identity, I will definitely tear him to pieces." He let out an angry roar, and the sound wave condensed into a substance, instantly shattering the roof. A dozen cracks appeared, and some rubble fell to the ground, making a clattering sound. Patriarch, a Zhou family elder, stood up with a troubled expression. We've used all kinds of technological methods to try to track down the real identity of that account spokesperson, as well as his current location. But none of them worked. Even his identity level was classified as confidential. Except for the big shots, such as the president of the Federation, nobody else was qualified to inquire about it. He felt very helpless. This was also normal. Xiaoping was an official member of the giant company. The moment he joined the giant company, his identity would be classified as a secret. Other than the higher-ups of the giant company, no one would have the qualifications to know about him. Even if the president of the Federation wanted to inquire about it, he would have to inform the giant corporation first. In fact, it wasn't only the giant company. The other life companies, Aurora Company, and many of the upper echelons of the King clans all had their identities kept confidential. No one was allowed to investigate them. Damn it! Zhou Tiangang gritted his teeth, but he had already expected this. Those who dared to go against the Zhou family must have an extraordinary identity, so it was normal that they couldn't find them. They didn't even have a clue. After all, there were too many people with top-secret identities. Patriarch! At this moment, a Zhou family elder suddenly rushed in from outside. His expression was one of panic. His face was filled with panic as he shouted, "The Silver Flood Dragon King has declared war on the Zhou family. He wants to have a life-and-death battle with the Patriarch." Life-and-death battle between kings. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The so-called life-and-death battle between kings was when there was an irreconcilable conflict between two kings. Hence, both sides agreed to have a life-and-death battle to completely resolve the conflict. Even though the demon race and the human race had signed a peace treaty, there was still killing between them. There was a blood feud between them, and it was very difficult to stop such conflicts. As the saying went, it was better to let it go. Hence, the higher-ups of the two races decided to allow the kings who had a blood feud to have a life-and-death battle. This way, the scope of the battle could be controlled between the two kings, and there was no need to have a conflict between races. Is the Silver Flood Dragon King crazy? He actually wants to have a life-and-death battle with the Patriarch. A Zhou family elder shouted in fear. This was because such a battle was no small matter. Even though 100 years had passed, it had only appeared a few times. But every time it appeared, there was bound to be a king who fell. If the Patriarch of the Zhou family died at the hands of the Silver Flood Dragon King, then the entire Zhou family would probably fall apart. It might even be swallowed by other families, and it would be destroyed overnight. Of course, a life-and-death battle between kings couldn't be carried out just because they wanted to. There had to be a blood feud between the two sides. Only then would the higher-ups allow it. In this situation, it was clear that the conflict between the Zhou family and the Silver Flood Dragon King was irreconcilable. It had to be resolved in a battle. Whoever won was right. The winner was King. Patriarch. A group of Zhou family elders looked at Zhou Tiangang, their faces pale. Silver Flood Dragon King. Zhou Tiangang clenched his teeth. He knew that there was still a huge gap between his strength and the Silver Flood Dragon King's. That was why the Silver Flood Dragon King was so brazen and proposed a life-and-death battle. If the two really fought to the death, then his chances of winning were slim. Looks like I have to find someone to help. Thinking of this, Zhou Tiangang took a deep breath and finally made a decision. Find someone to help? Many Zhou family elders' eyes flashed. Without a doubt, the person who could stop this had to be a king and one of the higher-ups of the human race. But to invite such a king, even if the Zhou family was rich and powerful, they would still have to spend a lot of money and resources. But Zhou Tiangang couldn't die. Once a king fell, the Zhou family would be completely finished. Therefore, even if they had to go bankrupt, they had to protect Zhou Tiangang. Damn it! How dare you make my Zhou clan so miserable? You put me, Zhou Tiangang, in such a situation. You better not let me find the person who framed my Zhou clan. Otherwise, I, Zhou Tiangang, will tear you to pieces and exterminate your entire clan. Zhou Tiangang clenched his fists. His face was ferocious, and he was extremely angry. The next day, a human king set off and landed on the Thousand Monster Mountain. It was said that on that day, the 1,000-monster mountains shook and hundreds of mountains collapsed. The sky shook and the earth shook. Everything within 10,000 miles was flattened. Even the sky seemed to have been split in half. Then, the 1,000-monster mountain ordered the Silver Flood Dragon King to cancel the battle. The Silver Flood Dragon King had no choice. Facing the order of the 1,000-monster mountains patriarch, he could only lower his head. But he also received a part of the Zhou family's compensation and recovered some of his losses. Hearing this, the Zhou family members let out a sigh of relief. At least the life-and-death battle was canceled, and their king was not dead. All their wealth could be slowly recovered. Chapter 533. Invisibility Pearl. Zhou Tiangang suddenly thought of this treasure. He stared at a middle-aged man in black next to him. But I gave it to Zhou Wan. This treasure should be with you, right? This man in black was Zhou Wan, Zhou Hao's father. Plop! When Zhou Wan heard this, he immediately knelt on the ground in fright. He kowtowed repeatedly and said, "I'm sorry, ancestor. It is my fault for not teaching him properly. I only just found out about this matter. My son, Zhou Hao, actually stole the invisible pearl I left at home and secretly went to Savage Forest to adventure." "What about your son, Zhou Hao? Where is he now?" Zhou Tiangang asked. Zhou Wan shook his head. "I can't contact him. His communication devices are all broken. I can't even contact the people around him. He disappeared into Savage Forest with Zhou Bin." He clenched his fists. "Ancestor, we suspect that Zhou Bin and the others were killed by a mysterious person, a Zhou family elder guest. Then that mysterious person obtained the invisibility pearl and snuck into Silver Dragon City to steal the Silver Dragon King's treasure. In the end, this bastard is despicable and shameless. He framed us and made us take the blame." "What?" Hearing this, Zhou Tiangong's eyes widened, and his body emitted an endless, murderous aura. All of a sudden, a huge crater appeared on the ground. Several of the Zhou family's elders around him were shaken by this force and smashed into the wall one after another. "You said that mysterious person not only killed our Zhou family's elites and stole our Zhou family's secret treasure, but also caused us to fall into such a state." Zhou Tiangang clenched his teeth. "Our Zhou family is in such a miserable state. It can be said that we've lost all our assets because of that mysterious person framing us. This is too much." He was so angry that his whole body was trembling. One had to know that this disaster had simply fallen from the sky. Because of this, their Zhou family not only lost Zhou Bin and the other elites, but also lost a secret treasure like the invisibility pearl. They even lost more than half of their assets. It could be said to be a heavy loss. But their Zhou family was in such a miserable state because of that mysterious person. Just thinking about how the mysterious figure was still at large, obtaining a large number of the Silver WRM King's treasures, and even mocking their Zhou clan in secret, they were on the verge of going insane. "You must find the bastard who framed my Zhou family. After you find him, don't kill him so quickly. Take your time." Zhou Tiangang gritted his teeth, and a murderous aura burst out from between his teeth. The other elders of the Zhou clan also clenched their fists tightly. Their eyes were all bloodshot. If that mysterious being appeared in front of them, they would definitely pounce on it and tear it into pieces. At this moment, in a cave in the Savage Forest, Xiaoping sat on the ground with a large amount of watermoon grass placed in front of him. Ever since he spread the rumor on the internet and framed the Silver WRM King, he had ignored it. He knew that no matter how the Zhou clan struggled, they would not be able to escape the wrath of the Silver Serpent King. He also used this time to refine the large amount of time grass he had obtained from Silverworm City to increase his cultivation. Rumble. Immediately, Xiaoping revolved the solar furnace in his body and refined the watermoon grass, transforming it into cold Yin energy that flowed into his limbs and bones, fusing into every single cell in his body. The power of water and fire, the power of the sun and moon, fused with each other, reaching the realm of complementing water and fire, forming a balance of yin and yang in his body. After an unknown period of time, Xiaoping felt the true energy in his body increasing crazily. It almost filled up his dantian, as if it was about to overflow. Bang, bang, bang. The true energy was like water, crazily surging through his meridians. When the true energy in his body reached its limit, the liquid rushed in all directions, breaking through one meridian after another. Dong! At this moment, when the 49th meridian was broken, Xiaoping felt his body tremble, emitting a sound like that of a tiger or leopard's thunder. His muscles and bones sounded together. Fifth heavenly layer of Martial Master. He immediately knew that he had advanced to the fifth heavenly layer of Martial Master. He had cleared 49 meridians, forming 4 true energy cycles in his body, and emitting a mysterious and tyrannical aura. At this moment, 2 or 3 hell golden crow cells in his body awakened. They were immediately refined by the true energy, transforming into a large amount of life energy that flowed into every single cell in his body. What a strong force! Xiaoping clenched his fists. He could feel that his strength had been strengthened a step further. It was more than 30 to 40% stronger than before. With a punch, the air exploded continuously. This punch could kill an enemy even if they were 5 to 6 kilometers away. The strength of my mental energy has also increased. Xiaoping closed his eyes. He could also feel that his mental energy had been greatly enhanced. It spread out in all directions, as though he could see through everything. Even the dust in the air, the ants crawling on the ground, and the flies and mosquitoes flying in the distance were all clearly under the control of his mental energy. Most probably, even if he was blind now, with the strength of his mental energy, he would still be able to walk freely. Bang! At this moment, Xiaoping stood up. The aura from his body fluctuated, causing the entire mountain peak to tremble. The rocks in the surroundings were all shaken by this aura. He took a step forward and was as fast as a gust of wind. In an instant, he appeared outside the cave. Because of the great increase in mental energy, his technique of controlling true energy seemed to have become more exquisite than before. His understanding of martial arts techniques had also become deeper. Boom! Xiaoping's feet stomped on the ground, and he immediately jumped up, instantly causing the ground to collapse and a huge crater to appear. His feet generated an extremely strong propulsion force as he jumped to the top of a small mountain. He was now like a ferocious beast in human form. Every move he made contained great power. It could be said that even if Xiaoping met an ordinary 7th-layer martial master expert, he would be able to kill him. This kind of strength was enough to rival a high-ranked martial master. As expected of the water moon grass, it actually helped me break through several meridians consecutively and advance to the 5th-layer martial master in one go. Xiaoping clenched his fists. If I can refine all these water moon grass, I might be able to advance to the 6th-layer martial master or the 7th-layer martial master very quickly. It might even be possible for me to advance to the peak of the 9th-layer martial master. It could be said that he had gained a lot this time. During this period of time, he didn't need to go out to look for resources. Just these water moon grass alone was enough for him to cultivate for a long time. Right now, the Silver Dragon City is in a state of martial law. There are Silver Dragon King's subordinates patrolling the surroundings. The Savage Forest is already a place of trouble. It is no longer suitable for me to take the risk and cultivate. I'd better return to Yanhuang University first. Xiaoping's eyes flickered. He had already been out for about a month. It was time for him to make a trip back to Yanhuang University. Chapter 534. Whoosh! A spaceship was speeding in the sky, flying towards Yanhuang University, and Xiaoping was also sitting on the spaceship, resting comfortably, looking out the window at the scenery. Ding! The system's voice came out. Congratulations to the host. This time you have received 15 million hatred points. 15 million hatred points? Xiaoping clenched his fists, and his face was very excited. In addition to what he had obtained before, he had a total of 45 million hatred points, which was a huge sum of money. Sure enough, it was still the king who got the most hatred points, but it was very dangerous. Once the king knew his true identity, he might be in big trouble and be hunted down by the king. But now it seemed that the gain was still greater than the effort. Host, the system said, if the hatred points reach 100 million, you will get a system gift pack. I hope the host can work harder and achieve the achievement of getting 100 million hatred points as soon as possible. System gift pack? Hearing this, Xiaoping immediately became excited. He remembered how powerful the system gift pack was. It was not a treasure that could be measured by a small amount of hatred points. He remembered that the first big gift pack was the pure yang immortal art. The second big gift pack was to reach 1 million hatred points, and the system gave him the Hell Golden Crow bloodline. Every item on it was priceless, enough to make countless martial artists crazy. If he got 100 million hatred points and also got the system gift pack, he really didn't know what kind of treasure the system would give him. Maybe even the king would have a heart attack. However, the system didn't seem to have any rules to the big gift pack. When he got 10 million hatred points, the system didn't give him a big gift pack. It was probably because he didn't meet some requirements of the system. I must get 100 million hatred points. This time I want to see what the system gift pack is. Xiaoping clenched his fists, feeling very excited. A few days later, the spaceship returned to the elite area of Yanhuang University and landed in Xiaoping's villa in the elite area. When Xiaoping just returned to his villa, he received a call from Fatty Feng Hatong. With a beep, Xiaoping immediately connected and asked, "What's the matter?" "Big brother, something big has happened. There are monster bastards coming to Yanhuang University. They want to deal with you." Feng Hatong shouted in a hurry. His voice was loud and his tone was urgent. "Monster bastards? What does that mean?" Xiaoping blinked, not understanding what Feng Hatong meant. Feng Hatong said in surprise, "Big brother, don't tell me you don't know." A few days ago, the Myriad Demon Mountain seemed to have sent some geniuses from the demon race to Yanhuang University. It seemed like they wanted to hold some kind of genius exchange. They said they wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to learn together and strengthen the communication between the human race and the demon race. But the truth is that they are simply here to demonstrate their might. They want to use this opportunity to intimidate us humans. Genius exchange? Xiaoping expressed that he was not aware of this matter because he had been outside for the past few days and had even cultivated in seclusion for a few days. Naturally, he did not know what had happened at Yanhuang University. Just the day before yesterday, Feng Hatong gritted his teeth and said, "Those so-called demon race prodigies are competing with us Yanhuang University students under the guise of learning from each other. They say they want to learn together and hope the human race can give them pointers. But in reality, they were more ruthless than anyone else. They beat our Yanhuang University people up very badly. One by one, they were sent to the hospital for emergency treatment, and some people are still in the hospital. The most despicable thing is that these demon race prodigies seem to know about our leveling heaven gate. They know about Big Brother, so they've purposefully approached us to teach us a lesson. In the end, many of our people have been injured." He gritted his teeth. He was very angry. What? Hearing this, a cold glint appeared in Xiaoping's eyes. The Leveling Heaven Gate was a martial arts organization that he had established. The members of the Leveling Heaven Gate were equivalent to his people. As the saying went, one had to look at the master before beating a dog. These demon race prodigies were purposefully targeting the Leveling Heaven Gate, which meant that they were targeting him. They wanted to slap him in the face. Their intentions were very obvious. As for why these demon race prodigies were targeting him, it probably had something to do with him killing Scorpion 13. He, a mere human, had killed a demon king's descendant. No matter how one looked at it, it was a slap in the face for the demon race. Perhaps this matter had made some demon race prodigies unhappy with Xiaoping and wanted to find trouble with him. All of a sudden, Feng Hatong shouted loudly, "Big brother, those demon race prodigies seem to have logged onto our school forum and are provoking us." Xiaoping's eyes flickered. He immediately entered the school forum and saw a post. There seemed to be a 4 to 5 minute video posted. With a snap, he immediately opened the video and saw a young monster that looked like a mouse fighting with a student from Yanhuang University on a training ground. However, The student was badly beaten. His face was swollen, and his head was bleeding. He was no match for the young demon at all. In the end, he fell to the ground and was sent to the hospital by the medical staff. This is too much. A cold glint appeared in Xiaoping's eyes. He could tell that the demon was doing this on purpose. It clearly had an overwhelming advantage, but it did not give the student a fatal blow. Its goal was to prolong the battle and torture and tease the student. In the end, the student's injuries were extremely serious. He had already been sent for emergency treatment and would need at least a month to recover. This is too much. He's clearly about to lose, but he's still torturing his opponent. This isn't a friendly spar. If it wasn't for the teacher, he would have been crippled long ago. Those demons are too much. We have to condemn them. How dare they behave atrociously in our human territory? Aren't they looking down on us too much? All the students of Yanhuang University were in an uproar after seeing this video. All of them were furious and thought that the demon was too much. It was deliberately beating and torturing a student of Yanhuang University in their human territory. This was clearly a provocation and a humiliation. It was too unscrupulous. Too much. How is this too much? The one who spoke was the demon in the video. Its name was Shu Wulong, and it was one of the demon race prodigies. It had also deliberately posted this video. It sneered on the forum and said in an extremely arrogant tone, "We came all the way from Wanyao Mountain to the holy land of human martial arts. We thought we could find some opponents, get some pointers, and learn something. However, we didn't expect these opponents to be so weak and vulnerable. They were crippled in just a few moves." Chapter 535. All the students of Yanhuang University were enraged by his words. How was that an apology? Every sentence was filled with sarcasm, as if it was saying that it wasn't wrong at all. The fault was that its opponent was too weak, so weak that it couldn't withstand a single blow even if it showed mercy. Shu Wulong's arrogance was obvious. He was high and mighty, looking down on the people of Yanhuang University. Damn it! How can this monster be so arrogant? It's just a mouse. This isn't an ordinary mouse. It's a weasel monster that can spray hallucinogenic poisonous gas. Once the enemy is infected, they will immediately hallucinate and lose half of their combat power. If it wants to, it can even spit out poison and kill its enemies in a few breaths. Indeed, it has the strength of a fifth-stage martial master. Many elite students have challenged it recently, but they were all defeated. They were beaten black and blue. They are no match for it at all. What? So many people had challenged it, and all of them had lost? No wonder it's so arrogant. Everyone's faces darkened. Even so many elite students had joined hands to challenge it, but they still lost to this mouse monster. It was not an ordinary mouse, and its strength was extraordinary. Although the mouse was arrogant, it had the right to be arrogant. What? Are you still not convinced? Shu Wulong shouted. Come and challenge me if you have the guts. If any of you can defeat me, I will immediately call you father. If you lose, you will call me father. It provoked them directly, completely looking down on the students of Yanhuang University. Damn it! When there is no tiger in the mountain, the monkey calls itself the king. A student gritted his teeth angrily. In fact, there were some elite students who could defeat them, but now that the genius battle was approaching, most of them had left Yanhuang University to train and improve their strength. As a result, there weren't many true experts left in Yanhuang University, which was why these demons were able to strut around and run amok in Yanhuang University. After all, no one had expected these monsters to choose this time to come. It just so happened that these monsters were able to be arrogant here. Looks like humans are all a bunch of cowardly bandits. None of them are capable. They don't even dare to challenge us. Then why are you still alive? Why don't you just die? Shu Wulong laughed heartily and was very proud of himself. It was a rare opportunity to humiliate the human race's pride. If he went back to the demon race's encampment now, he would be able to brag about it for the rest of his life. Shu Wulong, don't talk nonsense here. The human race still has experts. It's just that they haven't been born yet. The one who spoke was a fire wolf demon called Wolf Seven Blades. It was also one of the prodigies of this group of demons. Its strength was tyrannical, and its cultivation was at the sixth firmament of martial master. So that's how it is. The experts haven't been born yet, so they can't be blamed. Indeed, you can't blame them. After all, these humans have been practicing martial arts for less than 1,000 years. How can they be compared with the hundreds of thousands of years of history of our demon race? Isn't this making things difficult for them? However, Patriarch had us come here to find human warriors to exchange pointers with, hoping to receive some pointers from them. Looks like that plan has fallen through. We can only come here to sightsee. This place of humans is not bad as a tourist attraction. It's suitable for them to invent and create things. However, if they want to compare their martial arts with the demon race, they will probably have to develop for another 10,000 years. They don't have any talent and their bodies are weak, yet they want to compare with our demon race. I don't know where they get their face from. Don't they know what shame is? Humans have nothing else, but their skin is a bit thick. Sometimes, even wolf claws can't penetrate it. This is their talent. Our demon race can't compare with them. Shu Wulong and Wolf Seven Blades spoke one after another, echoing each other and constantly mocking the human warriors. Their expressions were very disdainful, and they didn't put the students of Yinhuang University in their eyes at all. They thought that they could defeat them easily. Some of the demon race's pride also sneered. These words were also what they were thinking. In fact, this time, they didn't come to the human race's martial arts sacred land to learn, but to intimidate the humans and let them know that their demon race's martial arts were tyrannical. If they could take this opportunity to humiliate the human students of this martial arts sacred land, when they returned to the demon race's encampment, they would definitely receive a lot of rewards and become famous. Damn it. Is there no one who can deal with this group of demons? They actually let these bastards strut around in our territory. Some students clench their fists, their hearts filled with anger. If they had the strength, they would definitely all rush up and beat these demons half to death, making them all shut up and know how powerful humans were. However, these demon races' pride were too strong. All of them had the strength of a martial master. Furthermore, they were very talented. Human warriors of the same level were no match for them at all. Previously, there were some students who were unconvinced, but now they were all beaten up. That's right. Wasn't there a very famous human before? I think he's called Xiaoping. Shu Wulong suddenly thought of something and shouted, I heard that even Scorpion 13 was killed by him, almost causing a war between the human race and the demon race. Where did this brat go? Why didn't he come out to fight? Could it be that he's afraid? One of their reasons for coming here was to deal with this human, Xiaoping. Only by defeating this human could the demon race quell the negative effects of Scorpion 13's death. This time, they wanted to prove that the demon race's pride could kill a human's pride as easily as drinking water, as easily as stepping on an ant. How could he not be afraid? I reckon that he used a trap to kill Scorpion 13. If we really fight, I can kill 10 of such humans without taking a breather. It's not that I'm boasting, but if that human dares to come out, I'll beat the sh*t out of him in minutes. With such a big commotion, that human Xiaoping doesn't even dare to make a sound. He's definitely scared shitless and knows that he's a fake, so he doesn't dare to make sound. He wants to compete with us, the demon race. I reckon that human also knows that his chances of winning are not high, so he went into hiding. However, this is also good. In the future, that brat can just tuck his tail between his legs and behave. Don't casually stand out, or else he won't know how to write the word death. The group of demons laughed loudly. It seemed that if they met the human Xiaoping, they could kill him in seconds. Interesting. He actually dares to provoke me. It's been a long time since I've seen such reckless demons. Xiaoping clenched his fists, and his eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He felt that this was an opportunity. If he could thoroughly humiliate these demon races' pride, he would definitely gain a lot of hatred. There were many benefits, and he could also beat up the demons and exercise his muscles. Chapter 536. As soon as Xiaoping's post was posted, it immediately caused an uproar on the internet. No way, Xiaoping really accepted the challenge. How can he beat him? This kid has just reached the martial master realm not long ago. How can he be a match for Shu Wulong? I guess he fell for those monsters' provocation. He's too young and aggressive. This is bad, this is bad. This time, Xiaoping will definitely be beaten up badly. He might even be humiliated. So many elite students have been defeated by Shu Wulong. Can't he see it clearly? He doesn't even know the difference in strength between the two sides, yet he foolishly accepted the challenge. Isn't he asking to be humiliated? Many students were dumbfounded. They did not expect Xiaoping to accept Shu Wulong's challenge. After all, everyone could see that Xiaoping was goading Shu Wulong into accepting the challenge. His goal was to provoke Xiaoping into accepting the challenge. The problem was, no matter how talented Xiaoping was, he was just a young man who had just reached the martial master realm not long ago. How could he beat those monsters who had reached the martial master realm long ago? If he was given some time to cultivate, they believed that it would not be a problem for him to defeat these monsters. But now, it seemed that it was too early. When the other monsters saw the post, they all sneered. Stupid, too stupid. This is the human who killed Scorpion 13? I didn't expect to overestimate him. A simple provocation made him so angry. If he is not shrewd, his future achievements will be like this. Scorpion 13 is also a piece of trash. What's so great about killing a piece of trash? He even dared to send Shu Wulong to his death. He is quite arrogant, but I don't know how powerful he is. How powerful can he be? He has just reached the martial master realm not long ago. Even if I let him fly, he won't be able to fly far. TSK, Shu Wulong is really lucky. If he can defeat Xiaoping and humiliate him, he will help us regain our dignity. I'm afraid many monster kings will be happy. When that time comes, there will be great benefits. Many monsters felt a little regretful. If they knew that the kid was so easily provoked, they would have challenged him one by one. How could they give this opportunity to Shu Wulong? But it was too late now. Shu Goro had his eyes on that human. Basically, the human was finished. When Shu Wulong saw this post, he was overjoyed. He didn't expect this human to be so stupid. He actually dared to accept his challenge. It was obvious that he was courting death. It would be stupid to refuse such a great opportunity. It immediately said, "Stupid human, I didn't expect you to agree. You have some courage. I just hope you won't run away tomorrow." It blocked Xiaoping's path of retreat. If he dared to go back on his word or run away, he would become a laughingstock, a shame that he would never be able to wash away. Run my ass. If I don't beat the shit out of you in 3 moves, I'll change my surname to yours. Xiaoping spoke on the spot. Immediately, the crowd was in an uproar. They felt that Xiaoping was too arrogant. He wanted to beat a martial master like Shu Wulong in 3 moves. Who did he think he was? The evil Shu Wulong was also a prodigy of the demon race. He had inherited the Weasel King's bloodline and was the descendant of a king. He had all kinds of innate abilities and was extremely powerful. More than a dozen elite students from Yinhuang University went up to challenge him, but they were all sent to the hospital. It showed that Shu Wulong's strength was not comparable to ordinary human martial artists. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was invincible among his peers. But now, this kid said that he could defeat Shu Wulong in 3 moves. It was really looking down on him. Shu Wulong, are you being looked down upon by humans now? If we don't teach this human a lesson, will our demon race still have any face? A group of demon prodigies added fuel to the fire and sneered. Shu Wulong suddenly became furious. You want to defeat me in 3 moves? Arrogant human. I'd like to see how you're going to defeat me in 3 moves tomorrow. His heart was full of anger, and he almost exploded. A little human dared to boast shamelessly, saying that he could beat the shit out of him in 2 or 3 moves. This time, if he didn't beat this damn human Xiaoping until half of his body was paralyzed, he wouldn't be Shu Wulong. Big brother. Feng Hetong also knew about this, and he was very worried. This Shu Wulong is not a good monster. He already has the cultivation of the 5th heaven of martial master. Before, many elite students went up to challenge him, but they were easily defeated by him. It's just a mouse. I can kill it with 1 slap, Xiaoping said lightly. As expected of Big Brother, Feng Hetong immediately had a feeling of admiration for Xiaoping. He felt that Xia Ping's martial arts cultivation seemed to be even more unfathomable. Moreover, he was very clear about Xia Ping's character. If he didn't have absolute confidence, how could he make a move? It seemed that this so-called Shu Wulong was bound to be unlucky this time. The next day, in the elite training ground, this was a wide square. At this time, this square was densely packed with elite students, and there were also hundreds of demon prodigies on the opposite side. The two sides stood opposite each other, clearly separated, confronting each other. Even some Grandmaster-level school teachers and demon race teachers came. They watched the battle from the side, and at the same time, they prevented a huge conflict between the two sides, causing uncontrollable consequences. Xia Ping is here. Suddenly, a group of people shouted. Suddenly, a group of people immediately looked over, only to see a young man walking over, barehanded, seemingly without any aura on his body. He just came to this training ground like this. And this person was Xia Ping. Finally here? I thought you would run away. Shu Wulong also walked out of a group of monsters, staring at Xia Ping with a gloomy face. After a night, the anger in his heart not only did not subside, but also became more and more vigorous. Today, in front of everyone, he wanted to beat this so-called human Xia Ping until half of his body was paralyzed, and even beat him until he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Run away? Do you think I will be afraid of mouse? Xia Ping waved his hand and said carelessly, Come over. Let me teach you the true meaning of martial arts, but whether you can learn anything or not depends on your ability. After all, it's useless to teach a monster with poor aptitude. This is called mud can't help a wall. He revealed the appearance of a generation's grandmaster, completely like a senior giving advice to a junior. Shut up. Shu Wulong couldn't stand this shameless human for another second. This guy's mouth was even more poisonous than his own gas. If he continued to let him talk like this, he was afraid that he would faint before the battle even started. Boom. Chapter 537. So strong. Everyone was shocked. Looking at Shu Wulong's punch, they were all shocked. This monster was indeed a monster. His strength was definitely not something to brag about. With a punch, the fist energy shot out and condensed into a substance. The air vibrated. This kind of power was almost no less than that of some human warriors who were born with divine strength. Even a huge rock would be smashed into powder. However, Shu Wulong's original body was a weasel. He was not good at strength, but such a casual punch had such tyrannical power. One could totally imagine how terrifying his opponent was. It was no wonder that Shu Wulong had defeated many elite students before. Too weak, Xia Ping took a step forward. His whole body vibrated. Qigong revolved, and a tyrannical Qigong burst out from his fist. It was as if a divine dragon had descended, and a series of explosions occurred around his body. Dong! His fist fiercely smashed towards Shu Wulong. It was like a flood bursting a dam. It was unknown how many times more tyrannical than Shu Wulong's strength. Even the strong wind brought by the fist seemed to condense at this moment, turning into astral wind. Due to the turbulence of the air currents, terrifying cracks suddenly appeared on the ground. The surrounding demons and elite students retreated, afraid that they would be affected by the shock waves. What? Shu Wulong was inexplicably shocked. He never thought that this human was so terrifying. His strength alone was no less than that of the Elephant Clan, which was famous for their strength. Legend had it that when the Elephant Clan reached adulthood, they had the power to uproot the mountains and fill the seas. One step could crack the earth, and one flick could easily throw a small mountain. And this human seemed to have some of the power of the Elephant Clan. With a bang, Shu Wulong's fist collided with Xia Ping's fist energy. However, in just a second, his fist energy was instantly smashed into pieces. Its entire body was sent flying by the force, and it slid on the ground for dozens of meters, leaving a deep crack on the ground. The tyrannical fist force had injured its lungs, and it almost couldn't help but spit out blood. Impossible! Shu Wulong stood in the same place and looked at Xia Ping in horror. It seemed that he couldn't believe his eyes. Didn't they say that you are only in the third sky of Martial Master Realm? What's going on now? With such quintessential essence, he is at least a fifth-layer martial master. He had previously investigated a lot of information about Xia Ping and knew that this human was at most a third heaven of martial master. But now this kid had actually advanced to the fifth heaven of martial master. He was many times stronger than before. That was more than a month ago. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, his tone indifferent. A month ago. Hearing this, not only the heaven's favorites of the demon race, even the elite students present were so depressed that they wanted to vomit blood. These words were far too arrogant. Ordinary people would have to spend a lot of time and effort to advance to the next heavenly layer. To advance to the next heavenly layer in a year was already an incredible advancement speed. Some people would even be stuck in a bottleneck and might not be able to make any progress even after decades. But this kid had consecutively advanced 2 levels in a little over a month. His speed of improvement was terrifying to the point of being a complete mess, and it was completely illogical. What kind of elixir did you take to improve so quickly? Shu Wulong stared at Xia Ping. He clenched his fists and endured the tumbling blood in his body. He was very unwilling. Originally, he thought that he could easily defeat Xia Ping. But who would have thought that he would be beaten back with just a punch? Even his internal organs were slightly injured. It's none of your business. Xia Ping didn't want to talk nonsense with Shu Wulong at all. He blasted out a punch like a wolf or a tiger. Suddenly, the sound of tigers and leopards burst out, as if there were countless beasts roaring in the void. The surrounding martial artists' blood was boiling, and their hearts felt extremely uncomfortable. The power of this punch was even more terrifying than before. His mental power had completely locked on to Shu Wulong's aura. No matter where he escaped to, it would track him down. If you want to defeat me, this is not enough. It's not enough at all. Do you understand? Shu Wulong shouted angrily. His pair of yellow eyes revealed a trace of coldness, and it seemed that the air was filled with a strange mental fluctuation. Boom! At this moment, a large amount of yellow smoke immediately emerged from his body. In just a few breaths, the smoke spread around and surrounded the nearby square. Xia Ping frowned. He felt that the moment the yellow smoke appeared, the air suddenly smelled extremely unpleasant. The extremely spicy smell seemed to make people's ears, eyes, and mouth feel extremely uncomfortable, as if they were poisoned. Even the air was filled with a strange mental power, distorting the air and affecting his 5 senses. He suddenly lost track of Shu Wulong's whereabouts, as if he was hiding in the yellow smoke. Oh no, this is the innate poison bomb of the Weasel clan. Someone immediately shouted. Many monsters had their own bloodline innate poison bomb, and the Weasel clan could burst out the innate poison bomb at the critical moment. This was the result of the Weasel clan taking a lot of poisons and then decomposing them, storing the poisonous gas in their body as a trump card. If the innate poison bomb burst out, it could immediately cause terrible damage to the enemy. Even some monsters with strong defensive power couldn't withstand this kind of innate poison bomb. In the past, some elite students couldn't resist this innate poison bomb, and they were immediately poisoned to the ground, waiting to be slaughtered. This was a trump card, and it was almost always successful. Jia, damn human, you can't resist the innate poison bomb of my Weasel clan. Be obedient and fall to the ground. In a yellow smoke, an extremely proud voice came from all directions, trying to disturb Xia Ping's mind. Because the sky was full of yellow smoke, it was impossible to know where the weasel was hiding. Insignificant skill. Xia Ping's eyes were cold, and he operated the qigong in his body. The true elemental energy in the depths of his dantian boiled like magma, and 108,000 pores on his body emitted wisps of flames. And when these flames converged together, they instantly turned into a 3-zhong tall man made of fire, and a raging fire appeared, burning around him. These flames burned the world, and when a yellow smoke came in contact with them, it was like ice and snow coming in contact with fire, and it melted. The poisonous gas in the air was instantly burned. No matter what kind of poisonous gas, or what kind of poison, under the absolute high temperature, it would die. If there was poison that couldn't be evaporated by the fire, there was only one reason, and that was the temperature was not high enough. And Xiaoping cultivated the pure yang immortal incantation, and he absorbed the essence of the sun. And he also had the bloodline of the golden crow of hell, so the fire he condensed was enough to burn gold and iron. Chapter 538. Impossible. Suddenly, a scream came out from the yellow smoke. It was Shu Wulong's scream. In just a few breaths, the poisonous gas that burst out of his body was burned away by the flame. Nothing was left. The trump card that it was so proud of was completely useless in front of this human. My pre-celestial poison bomb is a trump card refined from 108 different poisons in the world. It took the Weasel clan 49 days to refine it. Shu Wulong stared at Xiaoping and said, "Ordinary flames have no effect on my innate poison qi bomb, let alone completely incinerate it. What kind of fire qigong did you cultivate?" It was well aware that ordinary flame energy arts wouldn't be able to incinerate its pre-heaven toxic energy bullets, much less nullify its trump card. "Go ask your father." Xiaoping's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. His pure yang immortal incantation was running inside his body. His qigong vibrated, and his tyrannical true yuan rose up. The flames in the air were distorted. No slap palm. Immediately, he slapped out with his palm. His right palm was imbued with powerful inner qi. It tore through the air like a roaring dragon, producing an incomparably ferocious power. Damn it! Shu Wulong felt a deadly threat. He quickly circulated his demon qi and set up more than a dozen layers of Zhen Yuan in front of him. These layers of Zhen Yuan were like turtles. This was the demon clan's defensive qigong, Black Tortoise Vacuum Art. It was a demon clan's qigong that imitated the turtle clan's defensive bloodline talent. Once it was used, it could resist an attack that was stronger than the user's own. Dong! In the blink of an eye, a palm slapped on Shu Wulong's qi shield. Haha, it's useless. My Black Tortoise Vacuum Art is one of the best defensive qigong in the world. Even if your strength is unparalleled, you can't penetrate my defense. Fuck, what's going on? Shu Wulong didn't wait for Shu Wulong to finish his complacency. He felt that the palm had hit his true yuan shield, and the air immediately vibrated for thousands of times, containing the power of the strongest and fiercest. It was like being hit by a violent rhinoceros. In a flash, more than 10 layers of true yuan qigong were smashed. The airflow spread in all directions. Immediately, Shu Wulong couldn't help but let out a shrill scream. His chest was hit by Xiaoping's palm, and a solid palm print immediately appeared. It flew backward for hundreds of meters before finally smashing into a concrete wall of the training ground. It immediately sank deep into the wall, cracking it and sending rubble flying in all directions. Pooh! It couldn't help but spit out a large mouthful of blood. Its internal organs were heavily injured, and even more than a dozen bones in its body were broken. It was an extremely miserable sight. Lost? Shu Goro really lost. Since I said 3 moves, I'll do it. You're really not being careless. If I miss even one move, I'll be angry with you. Shu Wulong lost so miserably. He was simply suppressed and beaten like a dog. Even a famous defensive qigong of the demon folk, the mystic tortoise true void incantation, can't block it. This Xiaoping's palm strength is astonishing. Even the legendary dragon subduing palm is nothing more than this. Haha, it's really fun. Before, it was arrogant and domineering, saying that Yanhuang University has no one, but now it's beaten to such a state. I want to see what it can say later. What else can it say? It can be arrogant if it wins, but it can't be stubborn if it loses. The winner is the king, and the loser is the bandit. This Xiaoping is simply abnormal. It hasn't been long since he became an elite student, but now he has such a level of strength. Many elite students watched the result of the battle, and all of them were stunned. They didn't expect that Xiaoping could really defeat Shu Wulong, and it was an overwhelming victory. Even the students who were most optimistic about Xiaoping didn't expect such a thing to happen. This bastard. A group of demon geniuses' faces were also gloomy, and they couldn't help but clench their fists. Shu Wulong was defeated, which was far beyond their expectations. It was completely different from their previous plan, and the strength of this human, Xia Ping, was a little beyond their imagination. What bullsh asterisk T black tortoise vacuum technique? It's a powerful defensive qigong. Now it seems that it's simply fragile, and it can be broken with one palm. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at Shu Wulong, who was beaten down. Shu Wulong, what else do you have to say? You're not good at learning, and you want to challenge others? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? Now do you know how big this world is? Remember, when you meet me in the future, remember to be humble and also bow respectfully 3 times and 9 times. He looked at Shu Wulong with contempt. You! Shu Wulong was so angry that his face turned red, just like a cooked bun. After being scolded by Xia Ping, he felt like he had been slapped a dozen times in a row, and his face was now burning with pain. Before, he was still arrogant, and in front of everyone, he said that Xia Ping could not withstand a single blow, and he could be easily defeated. But now, he used all his skills, and even used his trump card, but he was still not the opponent of this human. He was beaten down by one palm, and fell to the ground, unable to move. For the arrogant Shu Wulong, this was simply an indelible shame. You? Are you still not convinced? And you want me to continue to give you pointers? Xia Ping squinted at him. If you have the guts, stand up now. This time I will let you use both of my hands. Stand up my ass. Shu Wulong was so angry that his head was a little dizzy. Now he was seriously injured by Xia Ping, and his internal organs were severely damaged. How could he have the strength to stand up, and even the strength to speak? But this guy said that if he had the guts, he would stand up and let him use both of his hands. It was clear that he was humiliating him in public. Shu Wulong, the descendant of a king, was despised by human beings to this extent. If there was a hole in the ground, he simply could not wait to bury himself in it and never come out. Why don't you stand up? Weren't you very eloquent before? Xia Ping shouted. You said that you want to find a human warrior to give you some pointers, and now I am here, pointing out some of your shortcomings. Where you said that if you lose, you should call me father. Now I want to hear it. He looked at Shu Wulong. Xia Ping. Shu Wulong shouted, and he could no longer stand it. His lungs were about to explode because of this bastard's words, and he could no longer suppress the tumbling blood in his body. With a puff, he spat out a mouthful of blood, and the ground was dyed red. Chapter 539. Go on. Why aren't you shouting anymore? Your dad is waiting for you. Xia Ping said loudly. Don't think that you can escape by pretending to be unconscious. I won't fall for it. He clenched his fists and wanted to wake the unconscious Shu Wulong up. Too much. A monster stood out and glared at Xia Ping. Brother Shu is already half paralyzed by you and is unconscious. You shameless human actually want to wake him up again. Do you still have any humanity? He was Shu Wulong's good brother, Wolf Seven Blades. Previously on the forum, the two of them had cooperated very well. Now that he saw Shu Wulong being bullied like this, of course he had to stand out. That's right, Brother Shu is already lost. What else do you want to do? Are you humans so despicable and shameless that you like to bully the injured? He's already unconscious, and you still want to wake Brother Shu up. Where are your human morals? Where did your conscience go? Was it eaten by a dog? If you want to bully Brother Shu, you have to go through us first. Many monsters stared at Xia Ping angrily. They were so angry that they were about to explode. This was going too far. Facing an injured person, he was actually so ruthless. He wanted to wake him up, even though he was unconscious. He really didn't put the monsters in his eyes. They all had a common enemy. Boom! Xia Ping took a step forward and grabbed with his hand. A tyrannical qigong burst out, and a large void hand descended from the sky. Its speed was extremely fast, almost breaking through the sound barrier. What? Wolf Seven Blades, who was 100 meters away, had a huge change in expression. He immediately felt a terrifying airflow pressing down on him. Every inch of his skin felt a terrifying pressure. He tried to dodge, but discovered that his body had already been locked down by the mental force. Bastard! Wolf Seven Blades shouted. His entire body immediately swelled up. His whole body trembled, and every inch of his muscles was filled with explosive power. Black hair surged out. He struck out with his claw, and instantly, countless sharp blades appeared, trying to block the large hand. Bang, bang, bang. But it was useless. The large hand crushed down, and those wind blades were like tofu, easily crushing them into pieces. In an instant, it broke through Wolf 7 Blades' Qigong defense. With a bang, in the next second, Wolf 7 Blades' body was slammed into the ground by this big hand. In an instant, a human-shaped crater was formed. The ground trembled and cracks appeared. It couldn't help but spit out large mouthfuls of blood. Its body was heavily injured. Human nature? You're a demon. What right do you have to talk to me about such things? Xiaoping looked at Wolf 7 Blade with disdain. Seeing how loud you were, I thought your strength wasn't bad. I didn't expect you to be trash that could be killed with one palm. With this kind of strength, you want to stand out? Aren't you a bit too full of yourself? Now, I'll give you some pointers and let you know what it means to keep a low profile. You don't have to be too grateful to me. Self-righteous. Wolf 7 Blades was driven mad. His face was completely red from anger. This shameless human sneak attacked him and beat him half to death. Now he was actually mocking and ridiculing him. He had never seen such a despicable human in his life. Moreover, he even humiliated him in front of so many demon race geniuses. Right now, he even had the heart to kill Xiaoping. He even said that he was giving him pointers and letting him know what it meant to be low profile and not to be too grateful to him. Grateful my ass. He had already beaten him up and heavily injured him with one palm. Who will be grateful for something like that? Wolf 7 Blades couldn't believe it. Since when did the human skin become thicker than a chopping board? Did he even have any face to say such words? Xiaoping. The group of demons were furious and angrily glared at Xiaoping. They simply wanted to eat Xiaoping alive. This scoundrel human actually dared to act so brazenly, heavily injuring Wolf 7 Blade with a slap in front of them. Too impudent. This guy was simply unbridled. Not convinced, Xiaoping cast a sidelong glance and said indifferently, "If you have the guts, then come up. I can fight 10 of you." He was extremely disdainful in his heart. Previously, when they were dealing with the Yanhuang University students, they were even more ruthless than him. One by one, the Yanhuang University students were paralyzed and sent to the hospital. But at that time, they didn't say that it was too much. They even said that it was just a spar and that they were giving pointers. But now, when it was their turn, they were defeated by him and said that this kind of behavior was too much. This kind of double standard was really well played. However, he was also too lazy to argue with these demons. If they were not convinced, then they could just come up and fight. If these demons still dared to continue to clamor, then he would just slap them to death with one palm. You can fight 10. What shameless boasting. Come and fight with me. I want to see how you can fight 10. Immediately, an ox demon jumped out. It widened its eyes and breathed out hot air from its nose as it stared fixedly at Xiaoping. The demonic aura on its body was boundless and extremely terrifying. It emitted the aura of a martial master at the 7th layer. As it walked on the ground, just this aura alone was enough to crack the ground. This human doesn't look big, but his tone is quite big. If he wants to fight 10, then we will fulfill his wish. Let me join in as well. Immediately, many demons jumped out. Among them were snake demons, tiger demons, horse demons, wolf demons, and so on. They were at least martial masters at the 5th layer, and the strongest one was martial masters of the 7th layer. Each of them was extremely powerful. Even if 2 or 3 human martial artists of the same level joined forces, they would not be a match for them. It's over. This kid has angered everyone. Many elite students were dumbfounded. They did not expect these demons to join forces to fight Xiaoping. Bullying with numbers, that's a little too much. Immediately, a Grandmaster teacher frowned and wanted to stop this battle. However, before he could do anything, a Grandmaster monster next to him stopped him and smiled. "Why are you so nervous? It's just a sparring match. No one will die. Also, this is what you humans asked for. We didn't force you. It's the world of the young now. It's better for old bones like us not to disturb the young. What do you think?" It looked at the teachers of Yanhuang University with a smile that hit a dagger. It seemed to be saying that if these teachers dared to make a move, they would not be polite and would stop these human grandmasters. This was because Xiaoping's words were clearly an insult to the demon race. This had completely angered them. They wanted to use this opportunity to teach this kid a lesson. Damn it! The few human grandmasters clenched their fists. They felt the threat of these grandmaster monsters. If they dared to make a move, these grandmaster monsters would probably not show any mercy. If a battle between grandmasters broke out in this place, the consequences would be no small matter. At the very least, the elite students who stayed there would be affected, and many people would definitely be injured or killed. Most importantly, these grandmaster monsters knew their limits. They knew that they could not kill anyone here. They had a good grasp of propriety, so there was no reason for them to make a move. They had no choice but to stand where they were and watch the situation unfold. Chapter 540. Boom! In an instant, the bull demon rushed up at once, and suddenly the sky shook and the earth shook. Its feet trampled on the ground, as if there was a magnitude 7 or 8 earthquake in the entire training ground. The demon power in its body surged out wildly, covering its whole body and condensing into a substance. It seemed to form an air shield like a golden bell. When it ran over, it produced a strong attack power. If it was hit by such a force, even a small mountain would collapse. Human die. A snake demon swooped over. Its body wriggled in the air like a green phantom. It tore through the air and attacked at lightning speed. This is the snake demon known as green bamboo. It is green, extremely fast, and can break the sound barrier in an instant. Often, the enemy does not know what is going on, and they are pierced in the heart by this snake demon. Even it carries a terrible poison. If the enemy is slightly cut, the poison will invade, and they will die in less than 3 steps. Human, eat my claws! A tiger demon roared, and it was earth-shattering. Its tiger roar condensed into a substantial sound wave, spreading in all directions, shaking the eardrums of the surrounding people, and even dozens of cracks appeared on the ground. This is an iron tiger demon, born to control iron elements. A pair of tiger claws is invincible, and even titanium alloy metal will be easily cut into pieces by it. Not to mention, it has natural divine power, almost comparable to the Elephant Clan. Even among the many Demon Clan geniuses, its strength can be ranked in the top 10. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In just a few breaths, 10 demon geniuses rushed over, using their bloodline talent, controlling the demon power, and attacking Xiaoping. Dozens of terrifying forces condensed into a substance. If a human warrior touched it, he would be smashed into pieces by this force in less than a second, leaving nothing behind. Dark North Body Protection Technique. Xiaoping's eyes were cold. He stood on the ground, his hands turned into a circle, and ran the qigong in his body. Countless qi of true essence gushed out from his 108,000 pores. Suddenly, a strong air shield enveloped his body, with his body as the center, forming an air shield with a diameter of 1 meter, tightly encircling and isolating the outside world. Behind his body, the air shook and twisted, as if there was a vision. A Kuan Peng flew up from the sea, and at the same time, there was the sound of crashing seawater. Bang, 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 bang. In the blink of an eye, the attacks of the 10 monsters arrived. Some were extremely ferocious, some were soft and cold, some were indestructible, and some contained poison. 10 different kinds of demonic powers attacked at the same time, like countless streams of air tearing, forming a terrifying vortex, wanting to crush Xiaoping's body into pieces. But it was useless. When the Dark North Body Protection Art formed, Xiaoping's energy shield, all of a sudden, the energy shield in thousands of times, crazy absorption of this power. Recoil. Just when these qis reached the limit, Xiaoping stepped out and ran the Dark North Body Protection technique in his body, and all the absorbed strength was returned at once. What? Immediately, the 10 monsters were shocked. They couldn't believe their eyes. That attack was enough to defeat any enemy. No matter how strong this human was, he was no match for them. But what was going on now? Not only did the other party block all of their attacks, but he was even able to reflect the power of their attacks. This was too unfair. But now it's not their turn to think. Before, in order to kill this damn human, they used all their strength and made a killing blow, making sure that Xiaoping had no power to fight back, and they didn't leave much demonic power in their bodies. It can be said that now their old strength has been exhausted and new strength has not been generated. How can they resist the power of such a recoil? Dong! Immediately, the sound of morning bells and evening drums sounded in the air, and countless forces returned along the way, bombarding the bodies of these demon clan heavens chosen, and even the power of the recoil was stronger than their attack. These monsters immediately let out a shrill scream, and their bodies seemed to be slapped by a peerless master. The terrifying strength shook thousands of times, and their lungs were immediately hit hard, and they couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. With a few bangs, their bodies flew out and hit the ground of the training ground one by one, creating a huge, deep pit, smoke and dust and gravel splashing. They even fell to the ground and kept coughing up blood, dyeing the ground red. Too strong. Not only were the demon race geniuses who didn't make a move, but even the elite students at the side were dumbfounded. Xiaoping didn't even make a move, but he was able to defeat the joint forces of 10 demon race geniuses. He was so valiant. He was so strong. They knew how terrifying these demon clan heavens chosen were. Although there were no powerhouses at the peak of the martial master realm, they were at least in the 5th or even the 7th heaven of the martial master realm. This kind of strength was enough for them to be ranked at the top among the elite students. But now, these demon clan heavens chosen joined forces, and yet they were beaten so miserably by this kid. This was simply unbelievable. Damn it! A tiger demon roared, trying to get up. Although it suffered such a serious blow, with the strong physique of the tiger clan, it was still able to get up from the ground. It was now extremely angry. It was defeated so easily by a human that it looked down on. Such a thing was simply humiliating and unacceptable. Damn it, my ass. Xiaoping slammed his palm down from the sky, and a huge true essence hand crushed down. It was like Buddha suppressing Sun Wukong, with an invincible aura and power. With a bang, the palm landed on the tiger demon's body, causing it to fall to the ground and sink 5 to 6 meters. Several of the bones in its body were shattered. It immediately spat out a large amount of blood, and its eyeballs turned white. It actually fainted from a slap. The group of elite students was speechless. They didn't expect Xiaoping to be so ruthless and decisive. Before the tiger demon could say anything, he knocked it out with a slap. He didn't give the demon any face. Who else? Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the many demon clan heavens chosen. Who else is unconvinced? Jump out and let me see. If I can't cripple you in 3 moves, I'll consider it my loss. The clothes on his body fluttered without any wind. With his body as the center, a terrifying aura erupted. It immediately enveloped the experts in the entire training ground, making them feel extremely suppressed. In a few moves, he defeated 10 demon clan heavens chosen. This kind of invincible aura made these demons feel extremely fearful and speechless. Chapter 541. He's too strong. He's invincible. He just advanced to the martial master realm not long ago, but he's already so strong. I can't imagine it. He's like a divine beast in human skin. The group of elite students were full of admiration. Even 10 monsters were no match for this kid. If such a person wasn't invincible, he wouldn't be qualified to do so. Previously, the group of monsters had been so arrogant. They bullied Yanhuang University and acted like they were the kings of the world. They even wanted to give the elite students some pointers on martial arts techniques. But now, no one dared to make a sound after seeing so many heaven's favorites of the demon race beaten to the ground. That was how martial artists were. No matter how powerful they were, it was useless. Whether they were strong or not, they would know after a fight. In a world of martial arts, the winner was king and the loser was the bandit. Seeing this situation, a human grandmaster immediately laughed. He looked at the grandmaster demons beside him and said, "Thank you for letting us win. Our people were too heavy-handed and we couldn't hold back in time. With just a few moves, we severely injured your descendants. You don't mind, right? After all, it's just a spar. He looked at the group of Grandmaster monsters proudly. Damn it, this be *TCH. The group of Grandmaster monsters were so angry that their faces turned green. How could they not hear that the human Grandmaster was mocking them? Previously, they had deliberately stopped the human Grandmaster from interfering with the battle. In fact, they wanted to see the damned human beaten up by their young disciples and regain the face of the monster race. But who would have thought that even though 10 monsters had attacked, such strength was enough to suppress all enemies? Yet, they were still defeated by this despicable human and lost so miserably. Now, not to mention regaining the face of the monster race, they would probably lose even more face. At the thought of this news spreading and letting many humans and demons know that they were bullying the weak, losing so miserably even though 10 of them were fighting against one person, they were so angry that their faces turned green. They could not imagine how they would be punished by the Demon King when they returned. By the way, you have many young disciples. Do you want the students of Yanhuang University to continue giving you pointers? After all, Yanhuang University is a martial arts holy land with many experts. The human Grandmaster said proudly, "It's rare for you to have this opportunity after coming from afar. If you miss this opportunity, you won't get again. Such an opportunity is very rare. Of course, you might suffer some physical pain, but you demons are all thick-skinned. A little injury is nothing. You should be used to it." Pointers my ass. The faces of the Grandmaster demons flushed red. They wanted nothing more than to punch the human Grandmaster. How was he giving pointers? He was clearly abusing and beating up the geniuses of the demon race. This kind of guidance, other than leaving pain all over the body and a psychological shadow, had no benefits at all. But this human evolved Jing Master's mouth was too despicable. He clearly knew this, and yet he was still spouting nonsense. It was clear that he wanted to see the demon race's geniuses make a fool of themselves and humiliate the demon race. They immediately saw through the human Grandmaster's shameless and sinister intentions. Suddenly, Xiaoping wanted to say something, but at that moment, the golden crow of hell cells in his body began to boil, emitting an aura of death. It was as if he was in mortal danger. He had never felt such a feeling before. It was as if he would be killed in the next second. This feeling came from a warrior's sixth sense, a keen sense of danger from the golden crow of hell bloodline. All such extraordinary creatures were extremely sensitive to danger. Because of this ability, extraordinary creatures could often avoid many unknown fatal dangers and live to adulthood. A Grandmaster was planning to assassinate him. Xiaoping woke up with a start. This was an unprecedented crisis. He had never thought that there would be someone who would dare to assassinate him in front of so many teachers at Yanhuang University. Moreover, the other party was a Grandmaster. Although he did not know why the other party was so bold, he did not have the time to think about it now. Spatial ring. With a whoosh, Xiaoping immediately exerted his mental strength and infused it into the spatial ring on his hand. In the next second, his figure disappeared on the spot and escaped into the inner space of the spatial ring. TSK. Human, how dare you insult the demon clan? Go to hell. A gloomy voice rang out. Swoosh. At the same time, a black light came from afar, almost breaking through the sound barrier by 10 times. This speed was so terrifying that it produced a sharp sound in the entire training ground. This sound was more than 10 times stronger than the tiger demons. It shook the surrounding elite students and sent them flying for dozens of meters, smashing into the wall of the training ground. Even their lungs were injured on the spot when the sound bombarded their bodies. With a loud bang, the terrifying black energy fiercely attacked the ground where Xia Pingyuan was standing, creating a huge pit with a diameter of 10 meters and a depth of tens of meters. Immediately, the entire training ground was filled with dust, covering the sky and the sun. Damn it, what's going on? How did I fail? The mysterious voice was extremely stunned. It seemed that it could not believe that it would fail. It was an assassination expert at the peak of the supreme power level. Even many supreme power masters have been killed by it. But now it could not kill a little human martial master. It did not even know where Xiaoping was. It seemed that he was hiding in a dimensional space. It had never seen or heard of such a thing. Bastard, who dares to commit murder in Yanhuang University? Feeling this scene, all the human supreme power masters were stunned and angry to the extreme. Someone dared to attack their own students under their noses. They must have eaten the guts of a leopard. They did not take Yanhuang University seriously at all. Moreover, the person who was attacked was an elite student of Yanhuang University, a genius among geniuses. If such a genius was secretly injured by the enemy, it would be an unbearable burden for Yanhuang University. One by one, the Supreme Power Masters immediately took action and instantly locked on to the enemy who attacked. But it was useless. This enemy was mysterious and unfathomable. It seemed to be a shadow. In an instant, it escaped the range of these Supreme Power Masters and came and went like a ghost. Human, you're lucky this time. I will come to kill him again next time. Let's see how long you can protect him. The mysterious shadow left these words and calmly escaped. Damn it! All the human Supreme Power Masters were furious, but the ability of this mysterious shadow was too terrifying. Even if their mental strength was strong, they could not catch up with it at all. They could not even find its whereabouts. How dare you come to Yanhuang University and behave atrociously? Stay. Chapter 542. What? Feeling the strong pressure and the omnipresent cold current between heaven and earth, the mysterious shadow's face suddenly changed. It was as if this power could change the weather, because it found that its body, which was originally moving freely, was actually frozen at this moment. The cold air rushed over and suddenly froze its body. Damn it! The mysterious shadow shouted, and a violent momentum burst out of its body. It seemed that the whole training ground was shaking. It tried to use the power in its body to expel the cold current. Don't! But it was useless. A slender hand, which was surrounded by white light, slapped down. It was like an ice goddess carrying a terrible cold current. A cloud of white fog immediately shrouded the whole training ground, making it impossible for people to see anything in the training ground. It was white everywhere, as if an ice storm had arrived. Suddenly, the mysterious shadow let out a scream, and its whole body was immediately frozen into ice. The area within a radius of hundreds of meters turned into a world of ice and snow. The surrounding students couldn't help but shiver and step back. It seemed that if they didn't stay away, they would be invaded by the cold air. Their lungs would be frozen in an instant, and their vitality would be taken away. Shadow Devil. This is known as the strongest assassination race among the demon race, Shadow Devil. Someone immediately shouted, staring at the creature in the ice, inexplicably horrified. It was a pitch-black creature with a long horn on its head. It looked like a demon, and its body exuded a strange and mysterious aura. There seemed to be many mysterious runes engraved on the surface of its skin. With a swoosh, Xiaoping also sensed the situation outside. He came out of the space ring and silently appeared in the same place. He also saw the enemy who attacked him. It was a Grandmaster monster, Shadow Devil. No way, it's actually a Shadow Devil. It is said that this kind of monster is extremely special even among the demon race. It can transform into a shadow and make its body reach a state of nothingness. It can shuttle through any place silently and blend into the depths of the shadow of every creature. Yes, it is precisely because of this ability that they have killed countless experts, especially after advancing to the Grandmaster realm. Their assassination ability is simply unparalleled in the world. If they're lucky, they can even kill a king. Fortunately, there are very few shadow demons. Otherwise, the entire world would be shrouded in its shadow of death. However, with the Shadow Devil's innate ability, it's extremely difficult to capture it. If it wants to escape, even a king tier might not be able to catch up to it. However, it was caught in an instant. Just who is it? Everyone was shocked. They were even more shocked when they found out that the Grandmaster who tried to assassinate Xiaoping was a shadow demon. The shadow demon was known as the strongest assassin race. If it wanted to escape, almost no one could stop it. Previously, several human grandmasters had tried to stop it, but to no avail. Entering Yanhuang University was like entering an uninhabited land. One could imagine how arrogant the shadow demon was. But now, he was frozen by this mysterious woman in an instant and couldn't even escape. One could imagine how terrifying this woman was. When the white mist dissipated, the woman's appearance was revealed. She wore a long white dress, and her skin was as translucent as snow. She had an exquisite and beautiful face, and her figure was exquisite. She was tall and alluring, and she gave off a cold aura. At the same time, she was also wearing black-rimmed glasses, exuding a trace of intellectual aura. Her whole body had a mature charm, just like the big sister next door. Qiuxiu. Xiaoping's pupil shrank. He immediately recognized this mysterious woman. She was Qiuxiu, the teacher in charge of his senior year. He didn't expect to see her at Yanhuang University. She even caught the shadow demon and showed her terrifying strength. She had at least reached the peak of the Grandmaster realm. Qiuxiu. Suddenly, an elite student immediately shouted, "This is Qiuxiu, a core student of our Yanhuang University. She has reached the peak of the Grandmaster realm and is already half a step into the King realm." No way, this is the famous monstrous genius, Qiuxiu. It's said that she is known as the strongest genius of our Yanhuang University in hundreds of years. She became an elite student half a year after entering the university. 3 years later, she was promoted to the Grandmaster realm and even became a core student. Her cultivation speed is frightening. I've heard of her name. People call her the Snow Goddess. She has mastered the ultimate power of ice and has a formidable record. Many Grandmaster monsters have died in her hands. It's said that she has entered the Demon Clan's must-kill list. Core student? Is this the core student of Yanhuang University? It's really terrifying. Many elite students looked at this woman in admiration. Even though they were already elite students of Yanhuang University, they were still far from reaching the Grandmaster realm and becoming a core student. Because of the rules of Yanhuang University, if one could not be promoted to the Grandmaster realm before the age of 30, then he would not be able to become a core student in this life and would immediately graduate from Yanhuang University. The problem was that it was extremely difficult even for many geniuses to be promoted to the Grandmaster realm before the age of 30. This was simply 1 in a million. I'm really sorry. At this time, a Grandmaster monster came up and said apologetically, "This shadow demon is not from our side. I don't know where it came from. But don't worry, we'll definitely investigate this matter thoroughly and give Yanhuang University an explanation. We'll see which fellow has the guts to cause trouble in the human race's territory." It gritted its teeth and seemed to be very angry. "Oh, then what do you want?" Qiuxiu raised her eyebrows. The Grandmaster monster said righteously, "I hope that Miss Qiuxiu will hand over this shadow demon to us. We, the demon race, have many methods to extort confessions. No matter how stubborn this shadow demon is, we will definitely make it speak. We will make it tell us the identity of the person behind it and the purpose of its assassination of the human race geniuses." He wanted to get the shadow demon back. There's no need. As soon as he finished speaking, Qiuxiu's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of coldness. She slapped down with her hand. With a bang, the ice that had originally wrapped around the shadow demon was immediately smashed into pieces by this tyrannical force. With a bang, the shadow demon was immediately torn into pieces. It could not be any more dead than it already was. Seeing Qiuxiu's action, the few Grandmaster monsters all clenched their fists. Their eyes were wide open, and there was a terrible anger in their hearts. They wanted to tear Qiuxiu into pieces. One had to know that the Shadow Demon Clan was also an illustrious fighting clan among the demon race. They were born to be masters of assassination. The death of even one was unbearable, especially when this shadow demon was a Grandmaster. Chapter 543. Awesome. Xiaoping was very impressed. This Master Qiuxiu was really ruthless. She didn't have the slightest bit of soft-heartedness, and she was decisive. She killed the demon without any hesitation. This group of demons probably didn't expect Xiaoxiu to be so ruthless and not give them any face. She killed a Grandmaster demon just like that, without any mercy, and in front of them. Originally, they thought that at the very least, this woman would leave the Grandmaster Shadow Demon alive. This way, they might be able to get some information from the Shadow Demon. However, she didn't need it at all. She killed it with one slap. What's wrong? I killed this assassin who wanted to assassinate my human race's genius. Do you have any objections? Or could it be that this shadow fiend was sent by you? Xiaoxiu narrowed her eyes and looked at these Grandmaster demons. She revealed a faint killing intent. No, no, no. Of course not. We have nothing to do with this shadow demon. Immediately, the few Grandmaster demons waved their hands and tried to explain. This was the human race's territory. If they said they had anything to do with this matter, they might be torn apart by the angry human kings. Perhaps the human kings wouldn't even have to do anything. Just this woman in front of them could kill them dozens of times. It's good that you have nothing to do with it, Xiaoxiu said coldly, but it is an assassin of her demon race. You can't escape from this matter. We must investigate thoroughly. If we find out that you ordered the shadow demon to assassinate my human race's genius, I will never let you go. She directly threatened them. Damn it! The few Grandmaster demons' faces turned red. They couldn't help but clench their fists. The veins on their foreheads popped. When had they ever been threatened by a human like this? It was clearly a slap in the face and a complete humiliation. However, they didn't dare to say anything. Not to mention that they were in the wrong. The other party's strength far surpassed theirs. If they dared to fight back, they would be asking for humiliation. They didn't say much either. They only promised to investigate this matter thoroughly and that it had nothing to do with them. After saying that, the few Grandmaster demons left with a group of demon race geniuses. They didn't dare to stay here any longer. Also, with such a thing happening, the duel couldn't continue. As expected of a course student. So domineering. Do you see those Grandmaster demons? They don't even dare to make a sound. How dare they? Even the shadow demon at the Grandmaster Peak was killed by a palm. Even if they join hands, they will be killed in a few moves. How dare they speak? Aren't they afraid of death? This is the scolding of a course student. His strength is terrifying beyond belief. It said that there aren't many course students even in Yanhuang University. Basically, every course student will become a king in the future. Especially Xiaoxiu. She has even advanced to the peak of the Grandmaster realm. Some people say that she can advance to the king realm at any time. It can't be. Does that mean that senior sister Qiu is already the future king? When they heard this news, all the elite students felt even more admiration. Even though they could be considered to be geniuses as well, they couldn't say that they would definitely be able to advance into the king realm. And it could only be said that their chances were greater than others. In history, the number of elite students that were unable to advance to the king realm was simply innumerable. Numerous elite students were stuck at the peak of the Grandmaster realm and were unable to advance throughout their entire lifetimes. That's amazing. Senior Sister Qiu is indeed the idol of us girls. She's beautiful and powerful. She's simply perfect. I don't know what kind of man will conquer a beauty like Senior Sister Qiu. The number of men who want to pursue Senior Sister Qiu can fill the entire Yanhuang University. Even many geniuses of the Demon Clan are pursuers. Those who can pursue Senior Sister Qiu are at least kings. How can ordinary men be qualified? A group of girls were clamoring. Even for girls, Xiaoxiu was an idol that they greatly admired. Some girls were directly turned gay by Xiaoxiu. Xiaoping, you can actually escape the assassination of the Grandmaster Ing Yao. That's really amazing. Can you tell me how you did it? Xiaoxiu walked over and looked at Xiaoping. She was very curious about this. She had just passed by unintentionally, but she saw the scene of Ing Yao trying to assassinate Xiaoping. However, it was already too late when she wanted to make a move. Once Ing Yao attacked, he would be killed with a single blow. Even an expert at the peak of the Grandmaster realm would not be able to stop him. But who would have thought that the Grandmaster Ing Yao's fatal blow could not kill Xiaoping? And even Xiaoping was not injured at all, which was very strange. Xiaoping was only in the martial master realm, which was far from the grandmaster realm. It was simply impossible for him to escape the attack of such a top killer. The problem was that such a thing was happening right in front of her eyes, and she couldn't understand it no matter how she thought about it. "It's a secret," Xiaoping said with a smile, "but if Teacher Qiu can be my wife, there's no problem telling you." "What?" As soon as this sentence came out, it immediately caused an uproar among the surrounding students. This kid was too thick-skinned. It was just some secrets, but he still wanted Senior Sister Qiu to be his wife. Was he shameless? "You." Qiu gritted her teeth, and her face turned red. She also suddenly remembered that this kid was not a good person. He had been coveting her for a long time in high school, and even wrote a novel on the internet with her as the heroine. If this was the case, it would not be a big deal, but this guy was a playboy who had stepped on many boats. It was rumored that he might have gotten many girls pregnant, and he intended to deny it. It could be imagined what a scumbag this kid was. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was Chin Shimmy. "Teacher Qiu," Xiaoping said to Qiu, "before, we were still in a teacher-student relationship, so you didn't agree, but now that I have graduated, it is no longer a teacher-student relationship, so there should be no problem. Why don't we find a time to cook the rice?" He put forward his own suggestion. "Cook my ass." Qiu wanted to block this bastard's mouth. What did he mean by find a time to cook the rice? Did he think this was a meal? They could just find a time and place to eat. But according to the character of this shameless student, maybe he really wanted to eat her. No way. This Xiaoping and Senior Qiu are still in a teacher-student relationship? Isn't Senior Sister Qiu a core student? I don't know, but it seems that these two people have known each other for a long time, and their relationship is not shallow. Not only is their relationship not shallow, they are clearly flirting. I guess there is an adulterous affair in this. Indeed, if this Xiaoping dared to talk to Senior Sister Qiu like this, maybe these two people have already had an affair. Impossible, this Xiaoping is also a toad. How can he be qualified to eat swan meat? That's right, Xiaoping is a bad bastard. How can he be qualified to be worthy of Senior Sister Qiu? It's ridiculous. Suddenly seeing the appearance of Xiaoping and Qiu, a group of elite students were in an uproar, feeling that there was definitely something fishy between the two. I didn't expect Qiu to also like to eat young grass. Chapter 544. What? Hearing this familiar voice, Qiu's body stiffened. She seemed to know the identity of the person who spoke. Whoosh! Immediately, a woman descended to the ground. She wore a pair of hot pants and a pair of red high heels, revealing two white and tender long legs, a slender waist, and an extremely hot body. Her white shirt completely outlined her curves. Immediately, all the men present felt the woman's infinite charm. They only had one thought in their mind. Charming. She was too charming. She was simply the world's top stunner. Every move, every frown, and every smile seemed to be able to arouse the most primitive impulse of a male animal. The moment the woman appeared, all the men present seemed to be instantly captured. They crawled at the feet of the woman, unable to move their eyes away. Bah, vixen! Immediately, some of the women felt an endless sense of threat. They immediately spat and looked at the woman with incomparable hostility. All of them pinched their boyfriends next to them, wishing that they could take the men next to them away. However, these men seemed to have lost their souls. No matter what they did, they couldn't move their feet. It was as if their feet were welded to the ground. This woman, Xiaoping's pupils shrank. The golden crow of hell's cells in his body immediately sent him a sense of crisis. He felt that this woman seemed to be extremely dangerous. Her body emitted an extremely strong scent of female hormones. This scent could almost capture the hearts of all the men in the world. If he didn't have the golden crow of hell's bloodline, he probably wouldn't be able to resist this woman's charm. Vaguely, he seemed to see a shadow appear behind this woman. It was a nine-tailed fox, wantonly waving its 9 tails. "Sumei, what are you doing here?" Qiu frowned. It seemed that she really didn't want to see this woman appear. Sumei. Xiaoping's heart moved. This name seemed to be very similar to Su Ji's name. Her temperament was also very similar. Could it be that the two of them had an unusual relationship? The woman, Su Mei giggled. I came here to see how you're going to eat young grass. I didn't expect that after being a teacher for a year, you actually hooked up with a fresh meat. Not bad. Why didn't I see that you were so thirsty before? Could it be that you like those younger than you? Hearing this, Chioshu was instantly angered. Who's thirsty? Don't spout nonsense here. She glared at the woman in front of her. Little handsome boy, what do you think? Did this old woman secretly attack you? Su Mei ignored Chioshu and turned to look at Xiaoping with a smile. Xiaoping rolled his eyes. I'm not very clear about this. She likes to call me to talk after class. I don't know how many times we've talked, but she's still alone with me, a man and a woman. He blinked his eyes, trying to look innocent. So that's how it is. I didn't think that there would be such a move. Openly using your authority as a teacher to flirt with a handsome student in broad daylight. You can even do something like this. I'm impressed. Su Mei was suddenly enlightened. She seemed to have seen through Chioshu's sinister intentions. Bullshit. Chioshu was a little crazy. She did call Xiaoping for a talk after class, but that was because this kid's grades were terrible and he wasn't serious in class. She called him over to criticize him. This was the duty of a teacher. But in this kid's mouth, everything was reversed. Instead, he thought that she was plotting something. She coveted men and used her authority as a teacher to deliberately let him stay behind after class. She was trying to be an old cow eating young grass. She was even more wrong than dough. Beast, I didn't think that Xiaoping and Senior Chioshu really have an affair. A man and a woman alone in a room. How can there not be something fishy? No wonder I feel that there's something wrong with these two. Damn it, why haven't I met such a teacher? I'm not bragging, but if the teacher publicly attacks me, I promise I won't resist, I won't struggle, and I'll actively protect this secret. Shameless Xiaoping. He's clearly taking advantage of me. I've never seen such a shameless man before. Countless students were in an uproar. They all glared at Xiaoping and wanted to eat this lucky kid alive. Hearing the words around her, Chioshu's face turned green. She clenched her teeth. Su Mei, don't be too proud. This kid is not a good thing. Your sister Suji also has an affair with him. She paid attention to Xiaoping's glorious history when he came to Yanhuang University. She also knew about his entanglement with Suji. What? Su Mei's face changed. Because in her eyes, her sister Suji was the world's best treasure. She couldn't tolerate being bullied by any man. Her beautiful eyes looked at Xiaoping with a little danger. What? You're Suji's sister? No wonder you look so similar. So you're my sister-in-law. Xiaoping patted his head. No wonder the two looked so similar. They were both from the Su family and had the bloodline of the demon fox. It could be said that every woman from the Su family had the ability to charm the world. However, not every woman was so powerful. It also depended on their own talent. Obviously, this Su Mei was one of the best, even among the many disciples of the Su family. Who's your sister-in-law? Don't talk nonsense. Su Mei angrily glared at Xiaoping. She had the urge to beat this shameless man up. They hadn't even gotten married yet, and he already wanted to be a family. His skin was too thick. Tell me, how did you get to know my sister? Xiaoping carelessly said, about this, the process of us getting to know each other was a little dramatic, a little romantic, and even a little action. In short, the situation was very complicated. No matter what, sister-in-law, you know that my relationship with your sister is not shallow. Maybe next year, I'll bring the child to meet the parents. At that time, please take care of me. Take care of my ass. Su Mei didn't have the mood to talk to Xiaoping at all. Her face was extremely dark. He actually wants to bring the child to the Su family next year. What kind of relationship does this shameless brat have with my sister? Has it already been eaten clean by this pervert? Moreover, this brat's character doesn't seem to be a good thing. Moreover, his relationship with Chioshu is unclear. I reckon that he's also a playboy. If my sister were to be together with this kind of man, she would definitely be played around. In the future, who knows how many times she would have to have an abortion. Honestly, what kind of relationship do you have with my sister? How many women have you hooked up with behind my sister's back? Su Mei very dangerously looked at Xiaoping as if she wanted to castrate this guy. About this, I'm not very clear. Xiaoping touched his chin. F***CK. So many that I can't even count? Su Mei was going crazy. She felt that the killing intent in her heart was getting heavier and heavier. She kind of wanted to kill this womanizer Xiaoping right now. He clearly has such a great beauty like my sister, but he still went out to flirt with other women. Sume, why are you angry? Seeing this scene, Choshu felt very comfortable. She giggled. Your sister's matter is not your matter. Isn't it normal for a man and a woman to love? Chapter 545. She's not your sister. Of course you don't care. Sume was so angry that she stared at Choshu, who was gloating. She didn't expect that one day she would be so angry by Choshu. It was normal to say that men and women were in love. Suji was not her sister. Of course, it was easy for her to say that. Yes, it's normal, sister-in-law. Xiaoping also shouted at the side, fanning the flames. Big your face. Shut up. I'm not your sister-in-law. Sume clenched her fist, and the terrifying power of the supreme power realm erupted from her body. The ground was suddenly shaken, and a huge, deep pit appeared. The earth shook a bit, and countless cracks appeared. If it weren't for the fact that it was inconvenient to make a move under the watchful eyes of the public, she kind of wanted to give this bastard a blow, drag him back to the room, and torture him to know what was going on. Amazing! Seeing this scene, Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. It seemed that the strength of this enchantress was not small, and was definitely not inferior to Choshu. It was not as simple as it looked on the surface. Sume, why are you angry? This will happen sooner or later. Choshu chuckled. She felt that her mood was getting more and more comfortable. There were too few opportunities to make Sume, the witch, suffer. If she didn't seize it now, how could she have the opportunity in the future? And don't you like your sister very much and don't want to be separated from her? Why don't you marry him too? It's not bad for two women to serve one husband. Maybe this is also a rare story. She teased. This is good, this is good. Xiaoping touched his chin, and his eyes suddenly lit up. If he could marry these two sisters and have a threesome, his life would not be in vain. Good my ass. Sume gritted her teeth. She wanted to hammer Xiaoping to death now. If it weren't for this bastard, she wouldn't have encountered such a dilemma. There's no time like today. I can also be a matchmaker for you. Anyway, your pigu is quite big. You should take good care of it. Next year, you'll give birth to a white and fat boy. Choshu was insatiable and giggled. Choshu. Sume was driven mad. With a boom, she slapped out with her palm. Terrifying astral energy surged out from her body. She was like a nine-tailed demon fox that contained terrifying power. Choshu did not feel any fear and also punched out. Her small fist gave off a white light, making her look like a goddess and giving off boundless might. Dong! When the two forces collided, it was like a volcanic eruption. The horrifying chi strength spread in all directions. The chi strength condensed into a substance. This was a fight between two Grandmaster Peak experts. Vaguely, there seemed to be a strange phenomenon in midair. It was a battle between a peerless demon fox and the snow goddess. Immediately, the surrounding students were sent flying by the strong wind. Some of them were caught off guard and smashed into the wall, creating a human-shaped hole. Large amounts of rubble rolled down and smoke and dust rose everywhere. Bang, bang, bang. However, this was only the beginning. Choshu and Sume collided with each other. It was as if two meteors were colliding as they fought in midair. Every time they collided, a terrifying force would erupt, and a huge crater would appear on the ground. This kind of power was no less than a missile explosion, and it was extremely terrifying. Run! We can't stay here. Otherwise, we will definitely die. A Grand Master teacher shouted and ordered the surrounding students to run away immediately. This was a fight between two experts who were half a step into the king realm. The power was horrifying. If a martial master stayed in this place, he would easily be hit by the aftermath of the battle. In serious cases, he might even be directly shocked to death and could not be saved even if he was sent to the hospital. After saying these words, the Grand Master teachers were the first to run away. They did not even dare to go forward to stop them because the combat strength of the two was far beyond them. They were not in the same dimension at all. If they rashly intervened, they would definitely be beaten up and might even be seriously injured. F asterisk CK. Even the grandmasters are running away. Is this still a teacher? They run faster than anyone else. It's too shameless. Don't talk nonsense. Let's run away too. Seeing the grandmaster teachers running away quickly, the students present were scared to death, and their faces turned green. Even the grandmasters were scared to run away. If they stayed here, how could they survive? Now they were not in the mood to watch the show. They fled in all directions at an extremely fast speed. It was as if they wished their parents could give them more legs. What a terrifying woman. Xia Ping was very emotional. When a woman was angry, it was no small matter, especially a powerful woman. Once she was angry, it was no less than a nuclear explosion. The power was very terrifying. However, he did not pay attention to the two women. He took advantage of this opportunity to quickly run away. Using the Kuan Peng steps, a pair of wings grew on his back. He controlled the airflow and quickly left the scene in a few breaths. This battle did not last for long. In just a dozen minutes, it immediately attracted the school's higher-ups, including the King Realm experts. They immediately stopped the battle between Xiaoxiu and Su Mei. After all, if they continued to fight, it was unknown how many buildings in the school would be destroyed. The higher-ups put them in the confinement room for a month. At the same time, they had to compensate the school for the losses. Xiaoxiu and Su Mei were in the wrong, so they did not resist and admitted that it was their fault. However, this matter caused a huge storm in Yanhuang University. Not only the ordinary students, but even the elite students and even the core students knew about it. The core students, Xiaoxiu and Su Mei, fought over a man because of jealousy. Someone immediately exposed it on the internet. Suddenly, many people were in an uproar because Xiaoxiu and Su Mei were simply legendary students of Yanhuang University. They were known as the most outstanding geniuses in hundreds of years. They had been promoted to the Master Realm at a young age, and now they were half a step into the King Realm. Moreover, they were as beautiful as flowers and had infinite charm. It was unknown how many men had fallen in love with them. They were simply the lovers of the nation. The men who pursued them had a strong group. However, these two proud girls fought to death for a man. They even alarmed the higher-ups and destroyed an area of the school. This was simply earth-shattering news. Impossible. What sort of figures are Xiaoxiu and Su Mei? They're halfway into the King Realm, and becoming King Realm Kings is something that's certain. What sort of man can make them fight each other out of jealousy? It's simply a joke. A core student did not believe such a thing and thought it was a rumor. This is true. There are pictures and videos as evidence. There are also many witnesses. Someone swore that this was absolutely true, and he even provided videos and pictures as evidence. Chapter 546. No way, really? Xiaoxiu and Su Mei are really fighting over a man. There's a video. How can it be fake? Damn it, who is this man? What qualifications does he have to be treated like this by the two goddesses? This guy is Xia Ping, a freshman who has just been promoted to an elite student. It is said that since he entered the school, he has caused a lot of trouble. He is a natural troublemaker. There is no justice. What kind of charm does this guy have to make the two goddesses treat him like this? Are they blind? Many students wailed when they saw this video. They couldn't accept this fact until now. A little freshman actually captured the two goddesses. It was incredible, especially some elite students and even core students who had been in love with the two goddesses for a long time. After hearing the news, their faces were as black as coal. They thought that with their talent and family background, it was only a matter of time before they wanted to pursue the two goddesses, but now a bastard came out of nowhere and took the lead. How could they tolerate this kind of thing? Strange. That kid Xiaoping is just a freshman, and it's his first time in the cloud world. Someone raised their own doubts. According to this kid's identity, he is not qualified to come into contact with core students. How did he know Xiaoxiu and Su Mei? It doesn't make sense. It's normal for that kid to know Senior Xiaoxiu. Someone revealed. It seems that in order to break through the bottleneck of martial arts, Senior Xiaoxiu chose to stay dormant for a period of time and return to the life of an ordinary person. She returned to Yanhuang Star and went to a local high school to work as a teacher. And that kid Xiaoping was a student of that high school. Senior Chioshu was his class teacher at that time. It can be said that these two people have known each other for a long time and have been colluding with each other for a long time. Some people had more or less investigated Xiaoping's matter and also knew the relationship between Xiaoping and Chioshu. It is said that this Xiaoping is simply a pervert. Someone continued to reveal, when he was in Yanhuang Star, he was not only a student but also had a secret identity. He seems to be a writer of erotic novels. He also wrote a novel called Teacher by Rome. The heroine of this novel is based on Senior Chioshu. It is said that many of the plots in it were personally experienced by him, and now he has written them out in full detail. It can be said that this novel completely reflects the filth in the author's heart, as well as the darkness hidden in the depths of human nature. No one can write something like this unless they're super perverted. Everyone was in an uproar because this was the first time they had heard of this. Although they had some information about Xiaoping before, it was not as clear as it was now. Xiaoping's past was dug out by some people in full detail. Beast, how could you write such a thing? Shameless to the extreme. This kid is shameless and lustful. I didn't expect Senior Sister Chio to fall for such a man. Is she blind? I suggest that this novel be banned immediately. Otherwise, it will definitely corrupt the morals of humanity. Many people cursed loudly, hating Xiaoping very much. Someone went on to expose, if that's all, it's fine, but this Xiaoping is definitely not a good guy. When he was on Yanhuang Star, he was a shameless scumbag who stepped on more than a dozen boats. I don't know how many women were pregnant by him. After coming to the Cloud Realm, this kid has become even worse. It is said that even the Su family's Su Mei and the female companion around her were once killed by him. Seeing this news, the people around were completely speechless. This kid was a rogue to a certain extent. He was simply hungry and could not be choosy. He actually killed a group of women. How ridiculous was this? Could it be that as long as it was a beautiful woman, he could do it with anyone? Soon, Feng Hetong and others also saw such news on the internet. All of them were very angry, feeling that this group of people on the internet was clearly slandering their big brother, making things up and maliciously spreading rumors. One by one, they were filled with righteous indignation and went online to refute. Everyone, don't believe the rumors. My big brother, Xiaoping, is a good person. He has always been impartial and law-abiding. Yes, although my big brother is a bit romantic, which man is not romantic? This is a representation of my big brother's ability. That's right. As the saying goes, it takes a lot to slap someone. If those women don't agree, my big brother can't force them. This is nothing more than taking what we need. Those women covet my big brother's charm, wealth, and status, so they voluntarily send themselves to his door. My big brother just goes with the flow and takes what he needs. What's wrong with this? If you have the ability, you can do the same. All of you are slandering and maliciously slandering my big brother's reputation. It's clearly jealousy. To put it bluntly, my big brother is giving face to these women. It's their honor. It's like the emperor choosing concubines. You see which concubine is chosen by the emperor and feel pain, but you don't know how happy you are. Of course, it's a bit too much to pull up your pants and leave. It's just a small mistake. It's harmless. It's a small flaw in my big brother's brilliant personality. That's right, that's right. Even the sun has black spots. No one is perfect. Feng Hetong and others went online one by one, waving the flag and shouting for Xiaoping. However, these words suddenly aroused the anger of countless people, as if stepping on the tail of these people. All of them were half dead with anger. They had never seen such a shameless person in their life. It was obvious that he had a foot in more than a dozen boats. The contemporary Chan Shimi actually distorted the facts here and said that it was taking what he needed. In order to absolve himself of his guilt, he even said that those women had voluntarily sent themselves to him and that they had evil intentions and were greedy for wealth. He even said that doing this was giving face to those women and was an honor. He used the ancient emperor as an example. If that was the case, didn't that mean that this brat had already regarded himself as an ancient emperor and the women around him were all his concubines? When he was lonely at night, he could choose whoever he wanted to sleep with him. They could be considered to have seen weirdos, but they had never seen someone like Xiaoping. Although these words were said by the people of the Pingtian sect, if the upper beam was not straight, the lower beam would be crooked. Without Xiaoping, who was a crooked person, how would these subordinates dare to say such words? Xiaoping, you beast, don't think that you can continue to be complacent. There will definitely be retribution in the future. It's not that there won't be retribution, but it's not time yet. Just you wait. Let's see how long you can be arrogant for. Is there no one who can punish this scum? Even the heavens are blind to let such a bastard run amok. Good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years. Chapter 547. In a certain dormitory villa in Yanhuang University, a group of women gathered together. Impressively, the leader was Su Ji. This group of women also saw the news on the internet, and all of them were very angry. Damn it, where did this rumor come from? It actually said that we were wiped out by Xiaoping, and our innocence was ruined. This is not true. A woman felt very angry because this was simply a malicious rumor. I don't know where this rumor came from. It's too much. Sister, we must stop this rumor. We must not let this rumor spread. Many women clenched their fists. They were all virgin girls. If they let this rumor continue to spread, which man would dare to pursue them? This is not necessarily a bad thing. Su Ji's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of light. Because of these rumors, Xiaoping is now the public enemy. He is simply a street rat that everyone wants to beat up. This time, we have hope for revenge. Moreover, this guy foolishly offended my sister Sumei. He must be tired of his long life. She was proud of herself. No one knew better than her how powerful her sister was. She could be called the strongest genius in the Su family in 1,000 years, half a step into the king realm. If he was targeted by such a terrifying person, no matter how monstrous Xiaoping was, he would not be her opponent. That's right. In this way, Xiaoping is dead for sure. I originally thought that after he was promoted to an elite student, we would have no hope for revenge. I didn't expect him to court death like this. I just don't know how long he can last under the hands of Sister Sumei. A group of women's eyes lit up. Obviously, they admired a legendary woman like Sumei very much. Xiaoping, just you wait. Su Ji clenched her fist, looking forward to seeing Xiaoping begging for mercy. As long as she thought of this, her heart felt very comfortable. Even eating ice cream in the summer was not as comfortable as this. At this time, a group of elite students gathered together. All of their faces were very gloomy. Damn it, that freshman Xiaoping is a bit arrogant, isn't it? As soon as he entered the school, he began to stir up trouble everywhere. Now he even extended his evil palm to the core students. This is bad. The school's order is gone. How could senior sister Chiao and senior sister Su fall for such a man? It doesn't make sense. That despicable Xiaoping must have used some dirty method to threaten them. Otherwise, how could this happen? These elite students were all gnashing their teeth in hatred towards Xiaoping. This was because they had been in love with Xiuxiu and Su Mei for a long time, and were even continuously pursuing them. But who would have thought that someone would suddenly appear out of nowhere, and this new student, Xiaoping, would take the lead? When they thought about how the pure and clean senior sister Chiao and the charming and moving senior sister Su had already been defiled by that beast Xiaoping, they immediately felt their hearts burn with jealousy. They even wanted to kill Xiaoping. The goddess that they had painstakingly pursued had long since been F***ed by that Xiaoping. No one could accept such a reality, and all of them were a little mad, wishing that they could immediately get rid of Xiaoping. No, I can't let this continue. Yes, regardless of whether senior sister Chiao and senior sister Su really like that beast, that brat must be eliminated. Let him stay at Yanhuang University. Our school is really dark. How can he pick up girls? I heard that he even hooked up with senior sister Su's younger sister, Su Ji. I think he's going to take both sisters. I'll take his face. How could he do such a thing? I'm just dreaming. Eliminate him. Immediately eliminate that brat. That bastard is simply a human seeder. Wherever he goes, he sows. If we continue to let him stay at Yanhuang University, I don't know how many beautiful female students will be killed by him. A group of elite students were gnashing their teeth and clenching their fists. But if he stays in school, we have no way to eliminate him. An elite student said helplessly. Someone sneered and said, so what if he stays in school? We can find an excuse to get him into the training tower to spar. From time to time, we can beat him up and send him to the hospital. As time goes by, I don't believe that Brat can still stay at Yanhuang University. He said a vicious plan. This is a good idea. From time to time, beat him up and force him to drop out of school. Use everyone and completely isolate him. I want to see what he can do. Beat him up a few more times, and he will know what is good for him. Senior Sister Chio and Senior Sister Su can also be touched by this brat. It's simply too bold. It's said that even the core students want to kill this brat, just waiting for an opportunity. Many elite students gritted their teeth. Their eyes revealed a fierce light, and they came up with many vicious plans. Didi, at this time, Xiaoping, who had returned to the villa, also heard the prompt from the system. Congratulations to the host. You have obtained 3 million hatred points. I hope you will continue to work hard. 3 million hatred points? It seems at this time I have really angered a lot of people. Xiaoping touched his chin, feeling very happy. Now he had 48 million hatred points on him. This kind of hatred points was not far from 100 million hatred points. He was looking forward to what kind of reward he would get after reaching 100 million hatred points. It seemed that he needed to attract more hatred in the future. Another day passed. On the internet, countless students were lashing out at Xiaoping. Many people were scolding Xiaoping, and it seemed that they had made up all kinds of rumors, describing Xiaoping as a scumbag who did all kinds of evil and liked to play with women. However, the assassination of Xiaoping by Grandmaster Ing Yao did not cause too much waves. It seemed that it was suppressed by someone who did not want to cause too much trouble. At this time, Dean Zhaoyang called, and the two of them had a video communication. Dean, did you come to me because of Ing Yao's assassination of me? Xiaoping asked. Smart is indeed this matter. Dean Zhaoyang nodded and said to Xiaoping, the result has come out. This matter has nothing to do with the Demon Clan exchange group, and the Grandmaster Ing Yao came in through other channels. Nothing to do with it? Xiaoping didn't believe this kind of argument. How could there be such a coincidence? As soon as this group of Demon Clan heavenly talents came, the Grandmaster Ing Yao followed. There was no doubt that the Grandmaster Ing Yao took advantage of the arrival of the Demon Clan exchange group to find a gap in the defense of Yanhuang University, so he had the opportunity to assassinate him. Yes, it doesn't matter. This is the excuse of the Demon Clan, and all the evidence has been destroyed by them. We can't do anything about it. Dean Zhaoyang said helplessly. Since the other party dared to carry out such an assassination, it proved that they had dealt with these things cleanly. Even if the matter was exposed, they would not be affected in any way. Chapter 548. Black Scorpion King Cave. Damn it, even this couldn't kill that human. The Black Scorpion King's expression was very ugly. With a bang, it slammed its palm on the ground, creating a huge pit. The entire cave seemed to be cracked as if it had been smashed into two halves. It was hard to imagine how angry it was right now, because just now, it had received the news that the Shadow Devil Clan killer it had sent had failed and was even killed on the spot by a human Master Stage Master. One slap, and he couldn't even escape. Because the matter of sending the killer had been exposed, it had seriously affected the harmonious situation between humans and demons. Some big shots of the Thousand Monster Mountain came to warn the Black Scorpion King not to act rashly at this time. Otherwise, they wouldn't mind handing over the Black Scorpion King to appease the anger of the humans. Thinking of this, the Black Scorpion King was extremely sullen. When did the Demon Clan decline to this extent? To actually hand over a Monster King to appease the anger of the humans. This was simply a great humiliation. Hundreds of years ago, when the humans were not in this world, the Demon Clan was the king of this world, the ruler. Who dared to say half a word of dissatisfaction to the Demon Clan, unless they were tired of living? But now, the human clan was powerful and menacing, like the sun in the sky. This sky realm was no longer a world ruled by the Demon Clan. No matter how angry it was, it couldn't do anything. Looks like I can only spare that human for a period of time. Wait for this matter to calm down. then take action. The Black Scorpion King clenched its fist, its heart boiling with killing intent. It hated this human bastard who killed its son and even caused it so much trouble. If that human was in its territory, it would definitely cut him into pieces without hesitation. But now, he was living in a human residence, and even in a place like Yanhuang University. Even if it was a monster king, it would not dare to enter such a dangerous place. At first, it thought that the Shadow Devil Clan's assassination ability was very strong. Dealing with a small martial master realm was as easy as drinking water. It did not expect that it would fail in the end. Endure for now. There will be a time when that brat is alone, and when that time comes, it will be his death. The Black Scorpion King's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. For a king, in order to obtain a certain treasure or to kill a certain enemy, it also had enough patience. Just you wait, human. The Black Scorpion King clenched his teeth. Sooner or later, this king will slaughter the human race and slaughter dozens of human cities. I will sacrifice the human race to avenge my son. Its body exuded a thick, baleful aura. At this time, Yanhuang University's elite district villa. Hearing director Zhao Yang's words, Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. It was the Black Scorpion King's instigation. Although he had already expected it, he still underestimated the Black Scorpion King's determination to kill him. The other party was actually able to find an opportunity to sneak into the heavily guarded Yanhuang University and even find an opportunity to kill him in one strike. It was truly terrifying. If it weren't for his Golden Crow Hell bloodline, which gave him the ability to war in advance, as well as his space ring, he would have already been killed by that Grandmaster Shadow Monster. Yes, although there is no conclusive evidence, there is no doubt that it was done by the Black Scorpion King. Dean Zhaoyang looked at Xiaoping. You should also understand your current situation. It is full of danger. Even in Yanhuang University, there's a lot of protection, but this protection may not be foolproof. There will always be a slight chance of negligence, just like yesterday. So, if you want to survive the demon race's assassination, you must quickly increase your strength. He reminded Xiaoping of this matter. I know. Xiaoping clenched his fists, his chest filled with monstrous killing intent. It seemed that this Black Scorpion King would not rest until he was dead. He actually sent a Grandmaster Shadow Monster to assassinate him. Once he advanced to the King realm and had strength, that Black Scorpion King must be eliminated. In about a month, the Genius Contest will begin. I suggest you go to the Training Tower's gravity room to train. That place should be of great benefit to your training. Dean Zhaoyang said in a deep voice. Gravity room? My private spaceship also has a gravity room installed. There's no need to go to the training tower, right? Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He also knew that the gravity room would be of great benefit to his training. After all, the more pressure one put on one's body, the faster one could stimulate one's potential. Running, lifting, and so on could only train a part of the body. But under several times the gravity, it could temper every inch of the body, every bone, and even every cell. Under extreme gravity, a warrior's speed of absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was more than several times that of normal gravity. It could be said that training in the gravity room for 1 hour was equivalent to training in the normal gravity room for 10 days. The efficiency was countless times higher. Stupid, Dean Zhaoyang reprimanded. How can a normal gravity room compare to the school's gravity room? The gravity room exudes a massive amount of pure yang medicinal energy. This medicinal energy is refined from 108 precious medicinal herbs. It is extremely beneficial in repairing injuries and strengthening true essence. If placed in the outside world, this medicinal energy would be worth a sky-high price. But in the school gravity room, you can use it at will. This is a benefit the school gives to the elite students. Pure yang medicine energy. Hearing this, Xiaoping's heart skipped a beat. This was the first time he had heard of the mysteries of the school gravity room. If he could train to the limit in the gravity room, he could tear his muscles. Then, he would absorb the pure yang medicinal qi in the gravity training room to quickly repair his injuries and allow his body to transform. Going back and forth, the effect of training the human body would be immeasurably better. Of course, Dean Zhao Yang continued, if you want to use the gravity room, it is not free. You need points to exchange. 100 points can be exchanged for 1 hour of use. But for you, these points shouldn't be a problem. He looked at Xia Ping with a smile. He knew that Xia Ping's family was not poor. Even a descendant of a king's family could not compare with him. Moreover, he also knew Xia Ping's true identity. Xia Ping came from an ordinary background. He was not a descendant of a big family, but he was able to earn a fortune. This was very amazing. Those rich playboys who only knew how to rely on their big families were not even worthy of carrying Xia Ping's shoes. That was why Zhao Yang appreciated him so much and spared no effort to help him. 100 points for 1 hour? Hearing this, Xia Ping immediately smiled. He did not have much, but he had a lot of points. When he was in the Cloud Mountains, he extorted a group of students' points and paid each of them 100,000 points. In total, he got 3 million points. Now more than 2 months had passed, and all the points had been transferred to his account. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was now the richest among the elite students. Even the core students who had some points might not be able to compare with Xia Ping. After all, to get 3 million points, who knew how many missions he had to complete? It was an astronomical number. Chapter 549. The next day, Xia Ping came to the training tower and wanted to train in the gravity room. But before he could enter, an elite student walked over and said, I'm sorry, Junior. I want this gravity room. You should go somewhere else. He looked like he was up to no good. Xia Ping frowned. He clearly felt that the elite student was doing this on purpose. He didn't plan to enter the gravity room before, but now that he wanted to go in, the elite student went in first. He was clearly looking for trouble. But there were many gravity rooms here, so there was no need for him to argue with the elite student here. He waved his hand and said, it's fine. If Senior needs it, then Senior can use it. I can go to the next gravity room. After saying that, he walked toward the other empty gravity chambers. But when he was about to go to the next gravity room, another elite student walked over and went in before him. I'm sorry, Junior. I'm at a crucial point in my training, and I need the gravity room to assist me. I hope you don't mind if I go in first. The elite student said apologetically and walked in without a care in the world. But Xia Ping didn't see any embarrassment on the elite student's face. Instead, he looked like he was doing it on purpose. I'm sorry, I need this gravity room urgently. Junior, I've already arranged this gravity room. You can go next. That's right. Why don't you come back tomorrow? There are too many people who need the gravity room today. I'm sorry, Junior. You're still a freshman. You don't need to train in a hurry. It's good to take your time and enjoy life. Many elite students spoke to Xia Ping in a sincere and heartfelt manner. The surrounding students also looked at Xia Ping with schadenfreude, as if they were watching a good show. They wanted to know how Xia Ping was going to deal with this situation. It's fine. Since there are no more seats today, I'll come back tomorrow. Xia Ping's expression was calm. No one could tell what he was thinking. The next day, Xia Ping also came, wanting to enter the gravity training room. But today was the same. Many elite students fought to get in before Xia Ping. Some even lined up outside the gravity room. It was a lively scene. If Xia Ping wanted to use the gravity room, he would have to wait until the wee hours of the morning. Perhaps there would still be people using it in the wee hours of the morning. These people clearly did not want Xia Ping to enter the gravity room. Even when he left the gravity room and wanted to use some equipment in the training tower, there would always be an elite student who would step forward and take it away in a timely manner, hindering him in every way. Interesting. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. After arriving at the training tower, he found that all the elite students seemed to be rejecting him, treating him like an outsider. No matter what he wanted to do in the training tower, these elite students would stop him and try to disgust him. In short, Xia Ping couldn't do anything in the training tower. Not only today, but also tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that. If this was an elementary school or middle school, this would be considered bullying. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to disturb my cultivation? Xia Ping's expression was very calm as he stared at the group of elite students and questioned them directly. How would I dare? You're a man who even dares to F***ck a course student. Who would dare to disturb your cultivation? Aren't you afraid that you'll call a course student over to teach us a lesson? An elite student with a protruding mouth and ape-like cheeks looked at Xiaoping with jealousy. When he thought of the relationship between Xiaoping, Qiushue, and Su Mei, he felt a little crazy. Qiushue and Su Mei were his goddesses, but now they might be F***ed by this brat. He might even be defiled day and night. When he thought of this, he could not bear it at all. He was not the only one who felt this way. Many elite students had the same thoughts and were unable to accept this reality. Does a genius like Junior Xia still need to cultivate? He could just lie down and sleep and advance to the king realm. I really envy Junior Xia. Mortals like us can only catch up to a genius like Junior Xia by cultivating hard. Even if he cultivates hard, he might not be able to. A random pill from him is equivalent to several years of cultivation for us. Comparing oneself to others is really infuriating, especially when compared to a genius like Junior Xia. With such talent, why the F***ck would he need to cultivate? If it was me, I would play with girls every day and forget about home. Many elite students looked at Xiaoping with cold smiles, and each of them spoke in a strange tone. To be honest, the series of things that Xiaoping had done made them very unhappy. He was clearly just a freshman who was not even worth a fart, but he had actually caused such a big commotion and made such a big scene not long after entering Yinhuang University. And they had been in Yinhuang University for such a long time, but they were unknown. It could be imagined that many of them were jealous of Xiaoping, and some even hated the way Xiaoping was in the limelight. Of course, there were also some people who were neutral. They did not care about it. Perhaps some of them had a good impression of Xiaoping, but under the ostracism of so many people, no one dared to help Xiaoping. This also led to Xiaoping becoming the public enemy, causing him to be ostracized by the elite students. I got it. Xiaoping's expression was very indifferent. He glanced at the elite students around him indifferently. He did not say a word and just left the training tower as if nothing had happened. How strange. An elite student frowned. According to this brat's character, he should have flown into a rage on the spot, but now he actually endured it. It can't be some conspiracy, right? Originally, they wanted to provoke Xiaoping and deliberately make him make a move, then make Xiaoping violate the school rules and be punished by the leaders, but they did not expect him to endure it and leave without saying anything. Conspiracy my ass, an elite student said disdainfully. There are so many of us here, and we have the advantage in numbers. What conspiracy can he play? Even if he grows wings, he won't be able to fly far. Probably seeing that we have the advantage in numbers, he is afraid and does not dare to be arrogant. So he ran away with his tail between his legs. After all, this brat's character is a bit fierce, but he is not stupid. Everyone nodded. What they did was clearly an open conspiracy, bullying the weak, and using numbers to bully the weak. Even if they reported this to the school, no one would care about Xiaoping. That's right. If this continues, that brat will also ask for trouble. Soon, he will be forced to leave Yinhuang University by us. This brat dares to fight us alone. He simply does not know how to write the word death. I guess he will not dare to appear in the training tower in the future. Who cares? We should just step up our training. There is not much time before the genius battle. This time, I must show off in this battle, gain recognition, and stand out. Many elite students clenched their fists. The genius battle this time was not only to select the geniuses to enter the Sky Demon battlefield, but also to attract the attention of many kings. Chapter 550. Training Tower, Management Office. Xiaoping came to the place and said to the manager, I want to reserve the gravity room for tomorrow. Reserve? When a manager heard this, he was stunned. Very few people would book the gravity room. After all, there were enough gravity rooms for every student. Under normal circumstances, elite students could just come to the gravity room. There was basically no need to line up. Xiaoping couldn't use the gravity room because he was being targeted. Can I reserve it? Xiaoping asked. The manager nodded. Yes, you can. Few people had reserved it before, but it wasn't like there weren't any. It was completely in line with the training tower's rules. That's good. I want to reserve the entire gravity room for 2 months. Xiaoping put up 2 fingers. 2 months. The manager couldn't help but yell, "Are you crazy?" After all, 1 hour was 100 points. A day of 24 hours and 2 months was 60 days. In that case, 2 months would require at least 144,000 points. Even elite students would find it difficult to come up with more than 100,000 points in a short time. After all, they had too many things they needed points to buy. For example, some powerful martial arts manuals, precious pills, elixirs, powerful weapons, shields, and so on. After buying all these things, there wouldn't be much left. That was why 100,000 points was such a huge number that even the manager was surprised. Even though the gravity room was good for martial artists, an hour or 2 was more than enough for a normal martial artist. The energy absorbed would saturate the body cells. Even for those with strong bodies, 7 or 8 hours would be enough. Any more, and it would be as bad as falling short. I only have one question. Can I reserve for a month? Xiaoping asked. That. The manager hesitated, thinking about the various rules of the training tower. In the end, he said, "The training tower doesn't say that you can't reserve it for a month. That's fine. Reserve 20 gravity rooms for me." Xiaoping continued, 20 gravity rooms. Hearing this, the manager was completely dumbfounded. He looked at Xiaoping as if he was a lunatic. To reserve 20 gravity chambers, he would have to spend 88 million points. This kind of points was simply an astronomical figure. Even a normal master couldn't come up with so many points in a short time. Student Xia, why did you reserve 20 gravity chambers? Even if your physique is extremely strong and you can cultivate 24 hours a day, is 1 room enough? The manager couldn't help but ask. No, just 20 rooms. I like the feeling of spaciousness, Xiaoping said carelessly. Spacious. The manager was speechless. He cursed in his heart. Rich people are so willful. Just for the feeling of spaciousness, he spent more than 2 million points. This is too exaggerated. Even if you have money, you shouldn't spend it like this. He still wanted to dissuade Xiaoping, but Xiaoping immediately said, "All right, don't talk nonsense. Since it's in line with the rules, then do it immediately. Don't be long-winded here." All right. The manager couldn't do anything about it. Who asked them to be so rich? They could spend whatever they wanted. Although he felt heartache, he couldn't stop them from spending money. Therefore, he could only book the gravity room for Xiaoping for 2 months. After that, these 20 gravity chambers would belong to Xiaoping. Without his permission, no one could use them for the next 2 months. Rich people are stupid. The manager looked at Xiaoping strangely. He had worked here for more than a decade, but he had never seen someone like Xiaoping, spending more than 2 million points just to be a little more spacious. It was like he didn't care about money at all. Rich people are stupid. I didn't book 20 gravity chambers for such a ridiculous reason. Xiaoping's eyes flashed coldly. This was his plan to take revenge on those elite students. Those idiots thought that by joining forces, they could isolate him or even stop him from using the training tower's equipment and kick him out of the school. What a joke. This time, he would let those idiots know what a motley crew really was. Soon, the news that Xiaoping had booked 20 gravity chambers for 2 months at a cost of 88 million points was leaked to all the elite students. Damn it. I didn't think there would be such a trick. He can even book gravity chambers. That kid found a way to break through. An elite student shouted. Because gravity rooms were usually very plentiful, there was basically no one who reserved a gravity room. They had forgotten about this point. That kid is completely crazy. Someone's mouth twitched when he heard the news. It's one thing to book one, but he booked 20 and even booked them for 2 months, spending more than 2 million points. Even if he has money, he shouldn't spend it like this. He's clearly wasting it. He felt very pained. If he had more than 2 million points, he would be able to buy a lot of good stuff. But now it was all wasted by that prodigal Xiaoping. Damn it, too. 88 million points. Where did that kid get so many points from? Does he have any serious corruption problems? Hurry up and send someone to investigate him. I guarantee that he will be locked up for decades. An elite student screamed. His eyes were green with jealousy. He had worked so hard to complete the mission and risked his life, but so far he had only earned 3 to 400,000 points. But this kid had just entered the university not long ago, and he could casually take out more than 2 million points. It was too unreasonable. Corruption my ass. He's not an official. How can he be corrupt? An elite student bared his teeth. If I'm not wrong, these points were definitely given by the core students, Senior Chio and Senior Su. Otherwise, how could he take out so much? Hearing this, everyone suddenly understood. If these points were given by the core students, then everything could be explained. It was not unreasonable for the core students to be rich. Damn, no wonder he's so rich. It turns out that he got it as a gigolo. It's despicable to sell his body. For these points, he even lost his dignity as a man. He even slept with the core students. How can this Ya Ping be so shameless? Bastard. I don't know how many times this guy has served Senior Sister Chio and Senior Sister Su to get more than 2 million points. I guess he's exhausted. I don't know how much profound chi he has consumed. Look at him. He must have been squeezed dry many times. His legs must have gone soft. I'm not convinced. Why? Why can this kid not only sleep with the core students, but also take money from them? Why don't they sleep with me? To be honest, my appearance and figure are first class. I don't know how much better than that gigolo. If the two seniors want to sleep with me, I promise I won't struggle and will actively cooperate. Chapter 551. Another day passed. Xiaoping arrived at the training tower and went to the gravity room. This time, no one could stop him because he had spent more than 2 million points to book all 20 gravity rooms. Xiaoping. But before Xiaoping could enter the gravity room, a group of elite students came to Xiaoping and glared at him. Why do you want to book all 20 gravity rooms? Can you afford that many by yourself? And for 2 months, do you think you're making a fool of yourself? Don't play to the gallery. Even if you have money, that's not how you spend it. Hurry up and tell us your real purpose. What are you plotting? The elite students glared at Xiaoping. Although they all thought that Xiaoping was stupid because he had too much money, some people also suspected that Xiaoping's purpose was not simple. Perhaps he was plotting something. Therefore, they wanted to find out more. It's none of your business. Xiaoping gave them a sidelong glance. I'm rich, so I can book however I want. I like to book 20 rooms. It looks comfortable. How can you poor bastards understand such a realm? Get lost. Good dogs don't block the way. He waved his hand impatiently, shooing the elite students away. Then, he strode into the gravity room. What? Hearing this, all the elite students present were incomparably furious. They simply wanted to give Xiaoping a good beating. They had never seen someone who was so arrogant to such an extent. He was too domineering. Damn it. Look at this nouveau riche face. I really want to beat him up. What poor bastard doesn't understand such a realm? This kid is just riding on the coattails of core student. That's right. If he didn't become a gigolo, how could this kid get so many points? He's clearly a gigolo, and yet he's so arrogant. What's wrong with this world? Don't laugh at the poor. Even giggles these days are starting to be arrogant. In my opinion, there's no conspiracy. This kid has nowhere to spend his money, so he's showing off. Many elite students were furious. If this wasn't the training tower, they would have rushed up and torn Xiaoping to pieces. One had to know that all of them came from wealthy families, and no one had ever dared to call them poor. But now this kid actually dared to call them that. Inside the gravity training room, Xiaoping revealed a mysterious smile. He had also heard the words of the elite students outside. Their words revealed anger, unwillingness, doubt, and other emotions. Although these elite students looked down on his actions, many of them were actually suspicious of his intentions. After all, to be able to become an elite student, which one of them wasn't a proud son of heaven? All of them were shrewd and cunning. If they really thought that others were stupid, then they were the real idiots. Therefore, they still suspected that there was a deeper meaning behind Xiaoping's actions. It was just that they couldn't see it for now. That night, Xiaoping immediately used a sock puppet to spread rumors on the school forum. Rumor has it that in order to take revenge on the elite students, the pretty boy Xiaoping plans to take over the entire gravity room tomorrow. No elite students will be allowed to train in there for 2 months. What? When this news spread out, countless elite students were instantly in an uproar. Is that kid crazy? Do you know how many points it would take to cover the entire gravity chamber for 2 months? Even a core student would go bankrupt. Someone was dumbfounded. There were also people who didn't believe it. This news must be fake. No matter how rich that kid is, he wouldn't spend money like this. That kid really thinks that money falls from the sky. Many people nodded in agreement, thinking that it was impossible to reserve all the gravity chambers in the training tower, and for 2 months at that, the number of points needed was astronomical. Xiaoping's sock puppet continued. Everyone, don't doubt me. There's nothing that this kid can't do. Everyone, look, ever since this kid entered Yanhuan University, he's been stirring up trouble without any scruples. He's practically the king of heaven. Tyrannical. Over 100 student clubs have been destroyed by him. Very few ordinary students haven't been beaten up by him. Lustful to the heavens. Even Su Mei's sisters have been wiped out by him. He forced himself on them. Recently, he's even more arrogant. He even killed the Black Scorpion King's son, Scorpion 13. He almost caused a war between the demon race and the human race. A madman like him would do anything for the sake of justice. As Xiaoping spoke, the events were laid out one by one, instantly shocking countless elite students. This was the first time they had heard of Xiaoping's entire story. Sweeping over 100 clubs, establishing the Ping Tian Gate, harming women, defeating the Wind Chaser Gang, killing the entire Wu Gang sect, and even killing the Black Scorpion King's son, Scorpion 13. He almost caused a war between the demon race and the human race. With such an incident laid out, it all proved that this brat was a lawless person who was capable of doing anything. If it were other elite students, they wouldn't believe this rumor at all. However, this kid was Xiaoping. A person's reputation was like a tree's shadow. For the sake of justice, he might really do it. F***CK. If he really bought all the gravity chambers, then how the hell are we going to cultivate? Plus, the genius battle is just around the corner. Without the gravity chambers, my cultivation speed will definitely be greatly reduced. Vicious. This kid is extremely vicious. In order to prevent us from performing well in the genius battle, he purposely bought all the gravity chambers, harming others without benefiting himself. Only that B. Xiaoping would be able to kill 800 enemies and lose 3,000 of his own. No wonder he didn't say anything when we bullied him. So he was planning such a vicious scheme. This kid is a new student. He didn't participate in the genius battle this time, but he can participate next time. But we can't. We only have a few years before graduation. This is our last chance. Despicable and shameless. That B** star knows this and wants to disgust us. What should we do now? I've been practicing a martial art recently. I can't do it without the gravity chambers. If that kid really bought all the gravity chambers for 2 months, then we can only watch. That kid is using a desperate strategy. Is no one going to control him? So what if he's rich? He could buy all the gravity chambers with money. There's no other way. There's no rule in the training tower that says no one can't buy all the gravity chambers. That's right. After all, it takes a lot of points to rent out a gravity room. Which elite student would be willing to part with it? No one has ever discovered this blind spot. Who would have known that this guy is so cruel and has so much money that he has nowhere to spend it? Only he could think of buying all the gravity chambers. Even a prodigal wouldn't be this bad. Many elite students gritted their teeth. They also believed this rumor. If it was Xiaoping, then it was really possible that he would do such a thing.